Yes, this na term for all Salon people and them party them. Sierra Leone Media will be bringing you a variety of programs ranging from documentaries to discussions, interviews, news, views, sports, and entertainment. Our programs will contain matters on development, governance, the economy, and issues that are of importance to Sierra Leone. So, no left BNO because we get Bebe program then like Salon discussion, meets the ministers, the president's hour, and the Gladi program. Look me, I look you. All this they start soon na www.sierragemedia.org. Now who's term these?
As we talk about burning issues ranging from politics to the economy, culture to sport, education to entertainment, corruption to the environment, we realize the Sierra Leone story is far from finished. So, Sierra Leone Media Production brings you Zoom. Zooming In is the program that engages everyday people, entrepreneurs, inventors, entertainers, activists, policymakers, and politicians to discuss and debate issues relating to Sierra Leone. Zooming In digs deep into the issues and stories. Zooming In ensures the debate is pushed to another level. Zooming In asks those questions that has never been asked before. So, join me, host Chumaba.
When I was young, a lot of things were different. Unfortunately, most of the differences seen now are heartbreaking and are not good at all.
Before now, men were strong protectors of the weak, fathers, brothers, lovers, sons. Their mere presence guaranteed the safety of women and children.
But what do we do now?
Men harassing and raping women.
Men sexually abuse little girls.
Men battering and killing their wives.
Any form of sexual assault, be it rape, sexual abuse, or pedophilia, is a killer to human self-esteem.
Women should stop dying in silence.
Speak now.
The rapist should be stigmatized, not the victim.
I think death sentence should be the consequence of such terrible act.
And you mothers, build confidence in your children, put trust in them, listen to them when they make reports and actions.
Talking of mothers before now, women were virtuous.
They were mothers, daughters, and sisters.
Nurturing, counseling, supporting their men folks.
But now,
women are trafficking female children for money.
Women are forced to be silenced.
All this must stop, and it must stop now.
Real men do not abuse, rape, or molest women and children.
It is barbaric, unacceptable.
Let all real men stand with us.
Together, let's say an emphatic no to rape, sexual abuse, pedophilia, and domestic violence.
Of all the crimes committed against a person, rape is the one that leaves the person feeling very violated. A rape victim is often left with the feeling that a part of them has been torn apart.
To use another person's body and ignore the soul that resides within. is one of the most outstandingly shocking crimes that one person can commit against another.
Some men harass and rape their women.
Some men sexually abuse underage girls.
Some men beat and kill their wives.
Any form of sexual assault is unacceptable.
There must be consent before you act.
Being in a relationship is not consent.
If they are not sober, they can't consent.
Flirting is not a consent.
We had sex before is not consent.
Silence is not consent.
Only an informed, sober, freely given, ongoing and enthusiastic yes is consent.
Women should stop dying in silence.
A man does not become a real man by physically dominating a woman. A man becomes a real man by loving, protecting, and respecting the woman.
Real men do not rape or abuse women and children.
Let all real men stand with us. And together, let's say no to child abuse, no to domestic violence, no to all forms of rape, being it spousal rape, intimate partner rape, child sex abuse, statutory rape, date rape, serial rape, and gang rape.
We must rise up against this ugly trend.
Justice for one, justice for all.
All sexual assault must stop, and it must stop now.
Silverstone Beats. People killing, people dying, children hurt and hear them crying. You can practice what you preach, or would you turn the other cheek? Father, 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 help us, send some guidance from above. People got me questioning, where is the love?
See this life going evil, we all have to give, oh yeah, yeah. Cause all I see is evil, and too much killing of my people, yeah, yeah. So let's bless one another, yeah, yeah. So let's help one another. I sing again, yeah.
What's in me, I don't see. This can't seem really happen. This not to be education opportunity. Now in we need, may we learn for the share, not to all time for big greed.
You see this life, the live, this is where we lose or we know. Stop killing one another. Let's stand together, yeah. Stop playing the hero, looking at each other like we're zero. On the block with the sea, money they can make every day pan free, yeah.
Alright, they took our boys, they take our joy, take our joy. They started time, we stop now crime. Don't blind bodies like your future.
Stop the stabbing, stop the killing. Let's love one another. Peace.
I see fighting every day, I see dying every day. Why don't we help each other and pave the way for a better life, a life that we all deserve? Instead of killing each other, why don't we preserve? So you wanna be a bad man, he's gonna be a badder man. You got a big knife, he's gonna get a bigger knife. Our people suffered for years in chains. Now we turn on each other, cut for gains. For the ones that send the youths to kill themselves, you pretend to be a father figure but only care for yourself. You are nothing but the flesh of the devil. You're evil, low life on another level. Think about the mothers and the pain they go through. You don't care for these kids, they mean nothing to you. But karma only knows the boomerang maneuver. One day the green reaper will be your remover.
This head of the range ranting up some sanctimonious food is as poetic verses, ruminate a prophecy given to a sentient dude. So I say it's as it is for you to listen and deduce the wisdom that's gonna liberate and galvanize you. Under the sun ain't nothing new, that for black on black crimes and breaking news. Under the sun ain't nothing new.
You gotta stand up. Stand up for what you believe in. Gotta stand up. Stand up for what is right. Cause if you got me, then I've got you too. Regardless of what you've been through, even when you're feeling new. Do this if we try. There's no time to waste, no time. Together forever, whatever the weather.
myself, I'ma do it for the young. Plead to my brothers, let's do it for the youngest. Why spend a bag on a jumper? Back where you're from, people dying with hunger. With people then they suffer. You then I you the bluff, it's copper. You're the game, need for change. Like we not get some. Where's the love? Where's the love, yo? Where's the love? I said,
where is the love? Little youth, let's take time. Stop all the knife and the gun crime. Think of the future, paint that picture. Get a youth in the future. Peace gonna rain on me. Peace gonna rain on me. Yeah.
Let's stop the violence and come together. Get rid of knives and guns and bombs. Let's be together. Pray peace and love, golden hope through storm and weather. See what is going on. Where is the love?
Tell me, how do you feel when you see your brothers and sisters lying down the street helplessly? And what will you do if you die today and find yourself in hell?
I want to ask you this. Look inside your eyes and answer me with all the truth. Where you get, whose side the love they?
when I left. Boku man them get nef. If you live by the nef, you go suffer. You know get sense, you know sabi say nef not for butter. Stabbing guys, yeah that's uncool. When it comes to knives, yeah I'm anti. What happened to fighting guys with your hands, G? When you stab a man, it's not one man you stab. Just remember that you stab a whole family.
People killing, people dying, children hurt and hear them crying. You can practice what you preach, or you will turn the other cheek. Father, 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 help us, send some guidance from above. People got me questioning, where is the love? Where is the love? Where is the love? Where is the love? The love, the love. Where is the love? Where is the love? Where is the love? The love, the love.
was raped multiple times by my aunt's boyfriend when I was 6.
I was repeatedly raped at the age of 8 by a close family member.
I was raped at 19. I didn't speak openly about it because I was ashamed and afraid that people would judge me.
I was raped at age 5 by my caregiver's husband.
On June 17th, 2020, 5-year-old Khadija Sakho, a beautiful little girl from Freetown, Sierra Leone, was repeatedly raped and strangled to death, allegedly by her own cousin. Her death shocked the nation. But in truth, in this small West African country, 9 out of 10 girls experience some form of sexual violence in their lifetime. Think about that for a second. 9 out of 10. That's 90%. My name is Aisha Sase. I'm a journalist and activist. I'm joining forces with Idris Elba and other activists from across Sierra Leone to support the survivors of sexual violence with the Survivors Solidarity Fund. Please consider donating whatever you can afford. All monies raised will go to 4 local organizations currently providing free medical and legal services to survivors. 5-year-old Khadija lost her life to sexual violence. That same threat remains for millions of others. So this is also a call for you to use your voice, your power, to draw attention to an enduring culture of rape. Together, we must end it now. My name is Aisha Sase. I am Khadija Sakho.
I am Khadija Sakho. I am Khadija Sakho.
I am Khadija Sakho.
I am Khadija Sakho.
We are Khadija Sakho.
We are all Khadija Sakho.
Younger.
Yes, this na term for all Salon people and them party them. Sierra Leone Media will be bringing you a variety of programs ranging from documentaries to discussions, interviews, news, views, sports, and entertainment. Our programs will contain matters on development, governance, the economy, and issues that are of importance to Sierra Leone. So, no left BNO because we get Bebe program then like Salon discussion, meets the ministers, the president's hour, and the Gladi program. Look me, I look you. All this they start soon na www.sierragemedia.org. Now who's term these?
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, and good night. Depend whose parts na the world you day. Welcome to Sierra Leone Media Production, another edition of the Big Sierra Leone Debate. Today we get a discussion, a continued discussion on the use of force in law enforcement, but we look at another part. We today they look at, we don't talk about the legal part last week. We will touch small about that and the practical part again today. However, we want to concentrate. Get some people away na Sierra Leoneans and we themselves na survivors of either police brutality or any kind we will want for, but they don't suffer some kind thing at the police there, and then we're willing for share their stories with me where they present to my name na Juma Ba, and I get me colleagues them here. So with the Sierra Leone Media team, if you just join me for the first time, you want for familiar with them physically. A co-presenter and the person with the monitor with chat group and bring the questions and live to we also double as we creative director na Sylvester T-Boy Duba, we all know as T-Boy. T-Boy, say hello to family.
Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon.
Wow. You see the man don't go back sharp one for this program. That's okay. No problem. They show me say now you get London. No wala. And again, I get with me the possible one I not can see, but now in the make we can live toner na Mr. Femi Palmer. He always there behind the scenes. Femi, can you say hello to our viewers and our guests, please?
Hello, people. Welcome to Sierra Leone Media Platform. I hope to enjoy myself with you today.
All right. Well, make sure say you keep with good sound, good pictures for let viewers them enjoy the program.
I go to
and again, like I say, we guests them are going to introduce them to Najis, no? But before we do that, let we do a regular housekeeping. Please, we always respect tonight and we appreciate tonight. Keep the conversation going, ask your questions, and do ya let we keep them clean. Because now the only way that one will be able to get an informed discussion, informed conversation, we will be able to learn from, and hopefully we picking themselves someday tomorrow will learn something from them program here, so because they know ever fade away. So that's what we'll say. And if I come to we guess them, we get 3 people right now. We expect another one for join we're not the number 4 person, but come yet. They hope say they go to watch the program now and go join we shortly for get a balanced discussion. So we first guest, we are going to introduce to now Mr. Gerald Cole. We now a lawyer na Sierra Leone. Should I say with now the word you can say lawyer and barrister?
Barrister and solicitor.
Barrister and solicitor na Sierra Leone.
Then you also say legal practitioner, that is qualified for practice in Sierra Leone.
Okay, legal practitioner. We get paper say not to lawyer na book no more, but it can actually practice.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Cole, can you say hello to our viewers?
Hello, Miss Salon people there, Miss Salon family.
Thank you. Welcome. And also we get another person here, we na Mr. Al-Aziz Toure. Mr. Aziz Toure, na man we wear boku cap. Then today I don't know who's party get for the na Sierra Leonean, and also na former policeman, na the Sierra Leone Police Force. And also now former military man at the U.S. Army, and also he served as what you call him, advisor at the intelligence unit na the last government, and also special executive assistant na State House na the last government, and also himself one Falamakata, Mr. Gerald Cole, he studied law as well for become a lawyer. So imagine you don't join police, you don't join the military, or you don't serve small, you get some military intelligence, then now you want for Kango B law. And I don't kind people and they want for what you call it. But I'm a very seasoned policy analyst as well. So you want to go. And Mr. Aziz, can you say hello to our viewers, please?
Good evening.
Sorry for the interruption. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so happy for being at this forum to make a contribute.
All right. And thank you so
much. Like I said, record straight on one side on the area where the military side. Yeah, I'll be an intelligence analyst somewhere, US here, and that's all I will give you now for now.
Okay, so it set the record straight. It just say an intelligence analyst. Okay, thank you so much for that correction. And I want to follow on and say Mr. Aziz right now they're on the road, so you're going to get some interruption, but definitely we will need that for talk. You will join me for talk. And we get somebody obviously we not now regular now we program here so and all Salon people in Sabiam, a seasoned journalist, the way we all Salon people who proud for we na Mr. Winston Ojukutu Macaulay. Mr. Macaulay, we will not need for introduce you better. We want to know sabi you face and sabi your name. So say hello to family. You muted right now, sir. Mute your audio. Hello? Oh, no, they hear Mr. Macaulay. You mic mute.
Okay, he mute himself.
Yeah. Either you mic mute or you get for change whose audio you they talk from. You get for connect on the way we say same as system audio now your microphone now you go connect to. So still not hear you right now, sir. We good? All right. Well, Mr. Macaulay will check in audio and he will come back to we shortly. We'll not hear you right now.
No can't take him out.
I think so, the area.
Okay, so I don't know why I can't hear him for some reason. All right. Well, we Femi now for the monitor that sound day for we for Mr. Macaulay on side. For some reason, me not the area. Let's check and make sure say it connect to the way say same as system instead of the other external microphone. Okay. So while we wait for Mr. Macaulay for let adjust that, they can't start the program. I will start with Mr. Aziz because since he don't serve na the Sierra Leone Police and last week as well he follow the program na so I want to start with you, Mr. Aziz. Let we discuss this topic here. So we don't hear the use of force in law enforcement. We don't hear and people don't do so much concern about individuals them where they suffer na the police they and also now we don't see say not to just individual but it's been like a group, communities them certain group of people and they suffer. Why you think say this they happen, as a former police person, as a citizen of Sierra Leone? Okay, before we start that, let's start first. Who stem the police get right for use force during them, in the execution of their duties?
Thank you so much for bringing me in this program today. I will make reasonable effort for answer this question, but I believe today before better for make a serving member of the police force for making answer them. Since the policies they change from time to time, I believe there's a legislative act for the use of force, and you also have a continuum of the use of force. So you go more abreast with them as alone. As the criminal justice system apply in the US, which I will tell you say are so much abreast with them today, past the Salon for obvious reason, because whenever there is a change, right away it is here. But with the Salon system, I believe what we get since 1965, I think now we operate on as an act. The only thing we will get modifications and based on policies. And then policies and they come as a result of a particular situation. So the use of force, it gets in continuum. It starts from minimum, medium, go to the maximum. And it actually starts with the presence. The mere presence of a police officer in a particular location. Don't tell you, say, it don't do for make you regulate your activities. For instance, if in a demonstration or maybe if they drive above the speed limit, when you don't see a police officer, like Yaso, it don't do for make you tell you, say, oh, heads up, I for know what I do now, because anything I do way not right, this police officer can take action. So it depends the area where they act with that. But make I bring this, the difficulty where police officers them face. As I sit down, I will tell you, say, I wear 3 caps, 3 hats. One, I wear the hat of the very typical civilian. We don't know nothing about police business. And when you see policeman, they act in any way, they will say, why police not do this? I sit down like that civilian day. I also sit down also like that person we don't serve the force, where he know when and how if for use force. So when you see a policeman, they use force in a situation where he not supposed to use force, it raise eyebrows. Say, wow, he don't do this work, but I'm not thinking that the right work he do, but not to me place for go tell and say, now this, because of the polarized situation we get in the country today. When you say this not right, it will be either branded as Party A Pekin or Party B Pekin. Not to the reality where you try to set the record straight. So I wear that cap today. I wear the other cap of being somebody who don't serve the past administration. If you say anything on the contrary way they show to the present administration on the use of force by police officers now, we say, what's wrong from where you've been dating? You not been talk this. So I want to make we know this balance as we move along. So I will yield the floor for now. If another question comes, I will step in again.
All right, thank you so much, and we're glad for the disclaimer the day where you don't bring up. And we
guys can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear, Mr. Macaulay. Thank you for joining us again, and welcome. Also, we viewers them as soon as if we look at we fly away, go out, we invite the police. We expect, say, the Superintendent Brahma Kamara, hopefully go join me in the process of this conversation as the head of media and public relations unit for the police. Because, we believe in fair game. We want to give everybody an opportunity for let them can talk, because when the police then supposed for be party, now the only way that we'll be able to change things and make things better for the country. We don't hear what Mr. Aziz say. And they talk about continuum of force, where they start from the presence, then go from, low, medium, and high. Now, so then they, what you call them. Now, so it's supposed to be according to policy, but I don't know if the policy don't change yesterday. So we'll still continue for ask that question there. Mr. Cole, Lawyer Cole, from a legal perspective, I know say sometimes you don't get case there. I don't know if not, you specialize in defense or prosecution or whatever. But, what do you think say the law say about use of force in law enforcement? Yeah, you mute right now, sir.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. So, I want to change your question small.
Okay.
I guess Sylvester already mentioned about when police they use force.
Aziz.
Yes, sorry, Mr. Aziz, I'm sorry. It already mentioned down there, and I don't go say anything different. But let's take one step further. When police say they need for use force, under whose kind circumstance they will use whose kind force? Because you get to understand, say, force is a very general term. Mm-hmm. From a tap in the shoulder could be forceful, to basically restricting someone's movement or try to control the situation could be forceful. You understand? So it go up, so each little force. But now, when they're permitted for use force in a particular situation, waiting they guide them. Now, whether you're a police officer, whether you're a civilian, it doesn't matter. I would go so far as to say that probably the primary purpose of the law now for regulates the use of force. People can't go about slapping people, kicking people, you understand? So the primary basis for criminal law, the criminal law and also the law of tort, It's the use of force. Who's telling you to use certain force? And whether the person go walk inside you, also go thief you, whether I meet you in a street, slap you, it doesn't matter where, whether you're in a police officer, whether you're in a civilian. Now, one game word, and paramount in that, proportionality. So, what does that mean? The amount of resistance where you see, or the circumstance where you see, now will determine the type of force where you use for re-establish order or for defend yourself. Proportionality. So if someone say thief man go thief you na you house, he attack you right side you bed. He see you, as he see you, he panic, he begin for one go. Now tell you take cutlass, you chop him. You're guilty of murder. So proportionality. If the person they run, it's not necessary or it's not proportionate for make you use deadly force per person where either not reach that level they hit or they in flight.
They run away by you.
Precisely. So the key word there is proportionality. Every time, whether you're a police officer, whether you're a civilian, whether they meet you in a street, whether they walk inside your house, the pivotal point there is proportionality.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for bringing that as well. So proportionality meaning that the force way they use, you get for commensurate to, the threats we try to avert or contain.
Precisely.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Well, we go to our own journalist, Mr. Winston Ojukutu Macaulay, where himself now citizen of Sierra Leone, with good standing as well, I should say. Mr. Macaulay, from when we don't know you, and you journalism days, you don't cover so many events, including riots, including even when the country been there in dark days where nobody not get mind talk. Now you voice with the wait for listen to na BBC. We then turn and then always they see around a gun, either policeman or soldier man. So you don't hear Mr. Aziz say force for be, usually according to the policy for be continuum, either low, depending on which you respond to. And Mr. Cole Self don't highlight about the proportionality of the use of force. So tell me in real life experience. Let's make our go back small. Now for let we put them in perspective, because one for let people understand say sometimes not to today things then start, but why make things then not explode so within the last 2 years we make them a point of duty for continuing them conversation. Over to you.
Thank you very much. It is a very kind of I don't want to say difficult to explain. But it's a very interesting subject followed last week. I enjoy all the law talk then, even the one we don't begin today. But for we don't get the experience firsthand. In fact, the first thing I make establish is that when I can arrest somebody like me, no lawyer not even get mind for commode safe say I go ask for me and give Ojukutu Macaulay bail. That are the first way, so I can enjoy lawyers that wouldn't be talk from last week to even just now. Mio arresting experience go back as far as 1982. At the talk at the time when APC was in power and then Shaka Stevens was in power, and Mina be reporter first with the tablet newspaper, and then before I even think of, after then, basically threw dynamite inside tablet office now on the street and destroy everything on the street.
What's in a dynamite? Not all man sabi what's in a dynamite too.
Well, basically, in 1982, tablet newspaper been get a story about the SLPM, the Sierra Leone Police Marketing Board, the company where been the sell Sierra Leone produce overseas, headed by the late M.K. Suma. And we were privileged. I use the word we because I'm a part of tablet, although I'm a junior mandate. But the big one in the internet, in the cargo, Vichy Olugodin, then one the name Frank Pusua of blessed memory. Then we get some documents the way some bankers in London in give tablet newspaper for publish about the management of SNPMB money na England. So that news they reach one or two big one the way about that. And the next thing we know, because also I've been a reporter during the day, then they call me Dr. Case, because also they play music in a Case nightclub. For the one that way big enough for member Case nightclub, will be owned by Sim2A. So during the controversial Big Moto Jukutu Macaulay, then Nina Dr. Case na nightclub with president na Case nightclub or like a bus station. So on a particular Tuesday, after where we don't work all day, we don't go submit with story them. So 10 and day we can write with story them passport them because then the laptop not been there and I want to get the whole computer they get. And we write the story done, you can go upstairs, IBK will go edit up. If IBK will realize say you write bad English, and not even call it, not to share the story, you call it so Natal or Jukutu so that story right, you know good. So you know get no time for begin look back saying that's what we put, that's what we put. So that's how we learn the work. So now that will be the ban on not particular day. Now in news which we say Ojukutu, and then behind the boot and they play music. Now the one week is Ojukutu, they say they don't blast tablet newspaper, they say we're not going to take off. And the time where they tell you so, APC West 3 as they call an intended West 3 head office. They patch up news. At 17 be working, she would make you see no. I don't want to wait for the devil. Whether the devil will go to him. Understand? So, cut a long story short, I take off. Left that side. But that's not the issue here. The issue here that the arresting incident before the even before that thing will happen. Me. Now, as I can tell, one or two people who can talk for Fed for APC, you understand me. I don't want to politicize this here, but if my people they understand, me APC picking, APC was born. But the tell me born APC was who the right and criticize APC. In the question by Shaki, Mandele, the tell some man and not get mind for APC, say, call the name Shaki. We the right now newspaper and question by Shaki. You understand? So because of that, then the meet me at treat. The likes of Baba Jigida, where they say SLPP now, you understand? Patiko John, the real APC man, them, you understand? Then they meet you in a treat, then get at you, sweep you in a God, then the ISU get at you, put you in a truck, carry go down Central or CID. No questions asked. No law and no get mind for going to police station, go ask you, say, can't say we can't take Ojukutu Macaulay for care. So when it comes to arresting for arrest, the difference between that time day and now is that then time and day, not only the police they initiate the arrest. Now the politician they initiate the arrest openly. Then the policeman when they next to and get at you, can you go down? Either down in Central, that smell place, or they can go to the old CID. Then time and day, there were days when me late Papa, God bless him, so they up na public college. When they cannot get me done, the one they reach the big one there, they call me father and say you go there na police. Then the one go reach and say, until they join, I go say this at the coach me Babati now, until they join me neighbor for Coach Shaka Stevens, make it sit on the force. So why? Because the majority of the guys who are beneath, Pius Fourier, Indolo Try, those who know the story know the story. So it's all ID Cargo and Richie Olugodi that being kind of, but majority of the guys were all Mendes, So of course they all on die now, blessed me. You understand? So cut a long story short, we can do that 2 days, 3 days. Then my lovely mother will end up make the release me, talk to Bambe Kamara, then go release me. I go past that went on until me left it salon 1984 for Crime England. Then when I returned back, 1994, right? I go work for UPI, United Press International, before I started working for the BBC. The initial brutalization came from the military, because if you remember, that the military they overthrew Pakaba, which is the AFRC. The military then gets one trick when me sometimes I can prefer make Sojaman arrest me than policeman arrest. Police no get party. Soldier man get party. When police arrest, today you go sit down the drink with police, when they laugh and talk, you grab, let's say for instance, Sabuya will be there on the street, or Sonny Mac. You can sit down and drink with policeman, and he say, hey, then they look for so person. He turn around, he look, he go to those stuff, let the mobile phone, they go find food, or a password. So that password I look for, then I will only drink. He don't go say they look for you, they don't go want you. In fact, you go don't buy drink for one dog. You can't now you go in for the wait for taxi or put on the street. I see the motorcar stop, then get at you. Then somebody pan go say, I'm going to be tell you so, will tell us who will look for you. I'll tell you the bad drink for. So the man now, when you know soldier, when soldier man they come for arrest you, for instance, during the AFRC days, so the man is first of all member. You see, because they go through some training where police go through. So the man in instructions in the forum. So the man not just the car can arrest you. Then they take command and they can arrest you. When they arrest you, they can go to that room. Now over force. Or as the case may be later on, when they lock in a container, na cockney. So the issue of the arrest is one. The issue of the lawyers then coming to your aid is another one. The other aspect of the arrest and police brutality is even some of the journalists then, where as we do go on, I don't want to take all the time, as we do go on, I will explain to you.
Okay.
Journalists back where when they arrest the company journalists, then they gladly and say good way they arrest her.
Okay. All right. So
I will explain further to you.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Well, you don't give a background where possibly will not be no bots, but you say something as a journalist. You been the they live na APCOs, but they criticize APC as well comfortably. Then can they arrest you? Then go big for you later. But anyway,
yes.
Try for bring that to perspective to present day as the program continue.
Thank you.
When you don't talk, you now go to Mr. Aziz just now. But since we put the program, we say today now the survival story at this early stage, because you don't talk about the lawyer them. But now we want for say possibly we lawyer will get now, so instead get your experience. And I want for know where the lawyer, if they arrest the lawyer himself, whether they go big for him, or whether they go bail, or whether they go come to you. Mr. Gerard Cole, you na lawyer. You hear the journalists say if police arrest you, use of force and all that thing, and they, lawyer they not get mind go near. They say because possibly they think say politically motivated the reason for your arrest. And you as a lawyer now, because that not be the happen first step. First step where you say lawyer, not dignified people, lawyer, doctor, which people in good standing. If they commit any crime or suspected or alleged for anything, then they give them that authority. Say, okay, you know what? Report yourself to police. That's now we understand it. Maybe I might be wrong. But I want to talk to from them, but your experience with the police as a lawyer. Because when could they ask them question for law understand, say, because we don't hear these things say, oh, the use of force now against youths them because they're lawless, they take control, but you're not a lawyer. You know they go demonstrate. So I want to let you tell your experience where you get recently.
Okay, thank you very much. Experience that along. And really and truly, if I know how for relieve them, I get reason. Mostly people when they talk about when they talk about police violence and they consider with the pain or the wound or the bruise or the bodily issues, which we totally in Sierra Leone they neglect for think about is the mental issue. It is tough. So when I bear with me, I may get emotional. I may get emotional sometime. Please bear with me. But before I go at length with that story, Mr. Ojukwu makes certain points. Mr. Ojukwu, lawyer them, they know they really take case unless they get a client. If you get a client, I'm sure your lawyer will come. Sorry, I've not been there, I've not been there practicing it too. But you know, Sabine, you're a lawyer, sir.
I hear you.
Lawyer, you know, don't say it. But he also make certain very strong points. Yes, indeed. I think, and that needs to be acknowledged. Even the Truth and Reconciliation Commission mention or get a whole chapter on how lawyers them and judges them behave. We make the war, the results. One, they talk about the courage of lawyers. People them just know, basically believe say them for stand up. And I have seen that with my own eyes right about now. They also talk about people not willing to do their jobs. Maybe they're judges, I don't know, lawyers, but the point is, I take the point, and it is very serious. I think lawyers need to step up in the sense that we did behind the politics, we did behind the divide, and basically we also ignore them thing that way we suppose, not for disagree on. And one of that is the rule of law. No matter what's your political leanings, the rule of law no get color. Justice no get color. It's not green or it's not red. So I acknowledge that point. The other thing also what I want to say is, it touched on a very, very important thing, and I'll go talk about it as I go. It says soldiers then get a lot more training. And I totally agree. Me, I work now in the military. I'm in the in-house defense council when they set up the Sierra Leone Court Martial, I think in 2007, I think 2007, 2008. And I totally agree. The amount of people there, what we call police officers there, they don't know nothing about policing, they don't know nothing about the law, they don't know nothing about your right, yet still, for some reason, we believe that dropouts there for send, not training school, for make them hold the thing that we hold most dear, we rights. Why we think say that dropouts and for big police? Why we think say people away they don't take better training, they don't go better training, they don't know what's in the law, they don't know what's in the rights, they don't know how the police will conduct themselves. Why are they giving the uniform of the police a bad name? They're dishonor to the system. So make I talk about the people that really dishonor the system. On the 8th of June, I come on at my office. I walk across the street. My office then up to IMAT. I walk across the streets. I call my cousin, Victor Willoughby, and the late Dr. Victor Willoughby in Pekin. I say, let we go meet. We be supposed for talk, family talk. And I know one for can go like an army host, making office say I want for dictate to I wanted that to be a level playing field. You understand? I called my wife also that day. I said, girl, meet me and stop it. So we go there, me, Victor, and my wife. This was, we reached Leicester Peak around 6:30. It wouldn't have been later than 6:30. We sit on a bench, the furthest to everybody else. So that if you left Leicester Peak, you will be the first person. If you rush for left Leicester Peak, you will be the first person where they exit. We sit on me, Victor, and my wife. Some other guys let me park, so other motor let me park, people let me inside there. I don't know these guys. Then go about their own business as you say, Mrs. Go about my business. This was 6:30. We did it about 10, maybe 15 minutes. Then we see a truck of a police van drive car up. Basically, their instruction was, we must disperse. Obviously, we're not in a COVID period. Obviously, then get them fears. So when they tell for disperse, I go inside my motor car. I go inside my wife in motor car because my wife said in-safe driver. Then I asked Victor for dinner in my motor car. So I didn't inside my wife in motor car. We turn for go down the hill now. Not and then we notice say the police they not take the van, they don't park and right across the road. So we couldn't leave. So the officer when they come close to me now ask and say, what's happening? I said, for me we left. Now left with the left so. why is it when I don't block the road? Now that's when they tell we say, we do under arrest. I said, no, I'm not doing under arrest, and I know they go not side with anybody. I say, if I do under arrest, waiting make you put me under arrest. And he asked me a question instead. Now me they ask, what you do here? I said, no, not to me for ask you question. Not to me for answer your question. Now you for answer me question, why you they block me? So they say we don't arrest, they're not good for make anybody leave. Then pass we and go further up, then they begin for round up, then other people will be inside this motor car. Part of them people are with they round up, about 3 or 4 of them now being like a Lebanese or half-caste people them. Now when me see inside my own motor car, when I see the violence with which then they round them up, I not really understand why. Now I begin for video. I take my phone the video. I begin for video, then I switch also to Facebook. So most of what happened, they on Facebook. He already did on Facebook from that day. So then come the round of them bolder than to win and go on, then conquer person in forehead with handcuff, basically rounded them up very violently at the film, and then put them at the truck. You can get one other person where they not put on the truck for whatever reason. The person will be a taxi driver in the back of the car. Yes. Now, remember this stuff from 6:30. Maybe they will go to 7 o'clock. They not round up them people in there, but they refuse for move. I always the video. The point is, anybody we don't use for good Lester Pick, or anybody we know small thing about Lester Pick, no say, police then they allow people then for go inside there. Then when they're done, then they call their colleague them from down the hill, car up, can begin for harass people them. Basically, they extort money from them. When they use violence on them, people are not afraid, then they begin for demand money from them. When they demand money from them, then they left and let them go. It's like constant game now, Lester Pick. Ask anybody, we know anything about Lester, then we'll tell you that. So they don't get that, they don't put them at this talk. At the video, how they for take this bribe now? Now that's telling them take very, 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 very strong exception to the fact that I'm in the video. You get one particular police officer, he was an inspector, where on 3 occasions, Doki and inside me motor car for jog me phone and me hand, scholar me, try for slap me. 3 occasions. On 3 occasions. Now when I know round up all them people there, this taxi driver with the BME. Now you can say, why make me go and point lights? Because by that time the place done that, I need for you use the lights. I was shining the lights. And people in the dark do not like to see that.
I like that.
So now he became very agitated. Why you point lights for me, this and that? Why make you do that? You don't go left for point lights for people now. I said, but sorry, but new rights, a paramount right now. I need for know it in the gun and I need for record and for posterity. Then eventually he came close to us. And this also didn't have the video, by the way. He said for make a stop for video. He said, now me, where are the video now? Make sure the police officer then they make so. Make we just try for settle as I said, and let's settle nothing. I want for suicide this take comments. Now
so
this same person.
Wait till now for settle.
Basically, I guess they suggested for bribe the police. Because as I tell you, anybody will know Lester Pick, no saying that not the game where they play.
Okay, continue, sir.
So 9. By that time, I don't know if they rush me. I don't know if they know they rush me at the video front. I turn the camera back for see if person the camera, it shine a light because I felt threatened, very threatened. Me and my wife inside the motor car. My wife tell me say I'm not for candle. So this eventually, we don't know waiting happen at me back. But all of a sudden, we see the taxi driver at the reverse behind me. He avoid me, then they get a road for let go down. So me and my wife, there's the same issue. We then send people there. Say, una say we dey under arrest. Okay, let me say we dey under arrest now. How is it una dey left that man dey for go? And they say, oh, una left them can't talk there. That's the while in Smartin, una facing a bribe, they don't bribe people them. We don't give an escorts for make you go police station. Una say una need to go. But we will eventually reach at this police station. We not be ever see this taxi driver. We not ever see this taxi driver. They put me in a detention. They lock me in a cell for nothing.
Wow.
I sleep in a cell. Under torture. Because when you left coffin and person in hand, you look at inside cell, you put coffin in hand, you left the coffin there, it is torture. Let's reverse back. So this man go. Then they don't round up everybody. The one who want for taking bribe, they're not taking bribe and they're not left and follow go. The Lebanese guy them or the African guy them, they inside the truck. Then they all the policemen them. Virtually probably 12 or something. Some then at the driver side of me with him to car because I'm with me the drive, some and then at the passenger side. I be sitting on the front seat. Then they argue. Then say we go and say no, I need to go on side. I say no, they go on side and they give me a escort for go home. Because now I don't delay me, so take place on that. No way, no, they why they left this mountain myself now. And by myself. All right. So we depend the arguments and this and that. You get possible with the doctor and say me try for grab me, slap me, whatever. Eventually, one of the police officer, Yala one, I think, instead of inspector or lower, input the hand inside me with the motor car, open the driver's seat and begin for yank me with common at the motor car.
So at this time, then no say you na lawyer or anything about you?
No, they don't know say me na lawyer. Okay. And basically me with basically how Solomon go they no more, you know, when person they trouble, they will try for reach out to people. And tell me with not call nobody. Me, I want to see how this get for go down. So like by the time we eventually try for reach to people and the situation will be bad, but that's not the issue. I told her, not call nobody because I want to see waiting the ordinary Sierra Leonean, they suffer every day. I want to see how far they will take this. When you not get nothing, you not get no reason for make you unlawfully, for make you arrest me. You not get reason. You not tell me what make you arrest me. Now you detain me the up day. You restrict my movement. You say I'm not for left. Then now you dey assault me and my family. So then open this driver's seat, they yank me with, then traffic will yank me with Commando. Now me with himself, please. What's happening? You want to beat me now, you cannot do much. And some sets, the other sets over, so they argue. Me says Commando because by that time now, I don't see civil violence they come. I Commando. I get about 6 police officers the day before me. They surround me. Me back late to the motor car. I said, no, I need to go on side. And all the way to now, do so, and I not say anything. I'm not under arrest because I not do nothing. So nobody know they can me go. If you get for carry me, you will get for carry me go by force because I not accept this. So eventually, we were struggle, we reach around the motoka to Sabinde. Me and them police officer, they don't argue like at the top of our lungs. Everybody don't lost temper. Everybody don't vex. Agitation all around. Now this man move come. Me and the one police officer, they argue. I tell him, man, say stupid. And he was stupid. He said, we get again call. I said, but almost people that you know say I know Sabina. I know Sabina Bonaya. The people that were Sabina, that man who Sada Muska, and this one, me with. Now then, the only people, we get out, we go get out, upless, and pick for me chilling. I said, look you. I said, you not think I know me age? If I am for chill now, there can people that they chill with. And the age difference is it's ludicrous for make you think, say, I go just sit down, go upload a Leicester Peak with people and for go chill. If I want chill, I girls. I know the parents. So, me and the one day I argue. Then, my wife come around the motor car. And this same inspector, which guy for grab my phone, begin for argue. Now, when we begin for argue, I say begin for point here and they move towards me with. In a very threatening manner. So I step between the odds. I say, what's wrong with you? I say, you mad? When me and you they argue, what I say stupid? What I when me and you they argue? You be ever punch your hand for me? So what to make you think say you get right to punch your hand for me? But then they rush me. Then try for cuff me. They put the cuff on the one hand and try for put them together. I wouldn't let them. So the next thing they resort for do them push me around. Me say push around, push. By the time I make up, I've been doing on my back. I had about 6 to maybe maximum 8. It could be 6, but not less than 6 guys. 2 of them OSDs. The other one then a regular police officer. When they don't swift me to foot me go on ground, then literally drag me. Then drag me from away from motorcar to about 10 meters for go back of the truck. Because if the truck in face me back upwards, like you say, they come inside. So then get for drag me from that motorcar there. So they are going at the back of the truck. At the kick, at the scream, at the fight, and then they give them a chance. By the time they reach at the back of the truck can conclude. Okay, so they don't do the unlawful act now. Need nothing for me to resist. So I let go. They ace me, bro, like banga bag. They slam me. They slam me na the police truck in ground. Okay. Then you get one how they call them? One recruit. It mean you know wearing regular police uniform. It be wearing like them overall where they give them. 9 man begin for course we all kind course. All kind course because we don't. That may not include the fact that by the time we then begin for drag me na ground, Victor himself come inside motorcar. By the time we make up, when we see Victor next, all includes one check 9 body. When I get for Victor waiting and down. Wow. By the time when we see Victor next, all includes 9 body chair. Then jump inside me motorcar with Victor in the drive without my permission, or Victor in permission, then sit them for go inside the motorcar. So you get about, I don't know, almost people them drive inside the motorcar without my permission for go down station.
Wow. So now do say then can you go na station?
Well, we don't go. Well, this one important because this one very important. Then you get this OSD, we come back. He said one for taking cough. I said, no, you need to take me cough. This cough right down a part of my body, and I know they give you permission for touch my body. I say, if you touch me, you go for taken by violence. By force, I know more you take him. Now he threatened me. He say, and you say, well, I'll not take the cough. Go reach that station. We know. We go pull out guys. If you want to go past you, I said, you need to touch me.
Okay. All right. So well, now for Olande, I know I'll let you go waiting happen at the police station yet.
Thank you very much.
I wish, thank you for sharing that story with us. I know say it is public, but where we get opportunity and we viewers themselves don't listen. And if I follow the talk then here. So at the camp to we own brother, I wish the police PRO been there for let it listen to this. Like
yes. That would have been good.
Yeah, you know, but I will put Mr. Aziz to you on the spot.
On the spot.
Today you get for beer, sir. I'm sorry.
Everybody.
Yeah. So, Mr. Aziz, you don't hear Ojukutu in your own version of your experience. You don't hear lawyer Cole in self-experience. And in the process, lawyer Cole make a statement for put things into perspective, say, why not drop out them? Would they expect for and trust with life, with safety, na their hand? Okay, you know police, me know say you know to drop out, but they talk based on your experience. So I want to let you explain to you why the police then they decide for recruit the people that way possibly not be able to do the job in a professional manner. 1. 2, from their own 2 experience, I want to let you see based on the time where you be they serve, if that's not so policing supposed for the, is that how you guys, how police them for conduct? Why they say you, once a police is always a police. So bear me, forgive me. You're not spokesman for the police experience. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Juma. It's so pathetic, the two stories that were I don't hear. Lawyer Cole and Mr. Ojukutu Mbasha. Unfortunately, in any society, you get a good one and you get a bad one. You know, go rule that out. But the specific question where he asked, say, why then they recruit people that will not drop out and left the qualified one. Well, I know will give you a specific reason, but always me will say in this case, the time when me joined police 30 years ago, 1990, sorry. We take exam. After the exam, you don't even know that they matter, the exams. Shortlist now for an interview. Do the interview, go for medical, and all the rest of things. That not mean say, who no go happen there, but to take the exam. But law come in the area of dropout. One of the experiences we me get. I've been get one teacher who teach me from class 3 to class 7. We prepare me for selective answer. I think it's a late man now, Mr. A.R. Ajami. Now from 3 is stop. It now reach from 5. But honestly, I think it been good at what it been to do that time they for make able to prepare students for make a go from 5 and pass for make a go class 7, pass selective, then a midterm na secondary, he do well. He not get degree. You will call that teacher the dropout? Probably no. Wait me go say maybe I feel say qualified by experience. Equally go be to a police officer who stop from 3. He take the exam, he pass them, he join the police and get a uniform. I believe that some of them act here, the behavior depend on the very individual. That's number 1. 2, I know I forgot to the extreme, but I will say this. There are times they say train the child the way they should grow or the way it should grow. When an instructor, meaning the police instructor, or meaning the teacher in a classroom, way for interpret the curriculum, but we could talk about the police specifically. The police instructor way for interpret the police policy and police standards out there, how the policeman for operate, how he for perform in duty, waiting will land into trouble, waiting at the escape route them. Where if you go do bad police work, that instructor they try for instill the negative thought into certain police officers. Now that's some police officers they go out with because you always defend an escape route. But when you meet up an instructor, we build a certain set of recruits and send them outside for make them go perform. And the best of the ability and the oath, mind you, every law enforcement serving officer, you take an oath for save lives, protect property, and all the rest of it. But for make you go outside, do otherwise, I think you don't go against the oath where you take for make you serve. It's unfortunate. I want to bring a situation where it's difficult on the side of the police. The work of a police officer is fall in a catch-22 situation. I call them a catch-22 situation because it fall in 2 ways. Where somebody they disturb your peace, then you feel say, oh, somebody they really demon me. I need to call for police assistance. Then you call police. Police come to your rescue. You do your job. You save you from the aggressor. You go free. You, on your side, you are happy because you call the police. It serves the purpose we call them for make you save you from the aggressor and he free you. Maybe end up for arrest the aggressor, maybe detain them. On that area there, the police not do good work. On that other side. Now your side, you believe that the police do good work. But the person who arrest, he didn't see the police say, he not do good work. So the catch-22 situation for the police is an area where you do what they call you for, you do it right, then go blame you. You not do it right, now the what?
Yeah,
mind you, police fall in that situation there. Now always keep that in mind.
I understand that, but if we go by Lawyer Cole in your own narration here.
They can't decide it.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, the question. Why we can't
so
decide?
what I want for ask is, Lawyer Cole, nobody not call a reporter and say they commit crime or they disturb the peace. The police then just show up. And when they come, they say, una come out now, so una go. They were willing to go. This time, remember, this is a public place. Public space, so they're not trespass to anybody. As far as me know that Leicester Peak area there. Right, Mr. Cole?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So then the police give them say, go. But the one for go, the police don't block the road and say you are under arrest. And when I don't know me not to law enforcement, but I know that if you are arresting someone, you have to tell them why you arrest them and for continue for investigate. Go ahead, sir. I'm just trying to bring down the in for the
I mean, just one come the two side because when they run after the act, you come for the fall.
Okay.
Why the for make the act here?
Okay.
But you can make attempts for making.
All right.
So I come the police side for make I explain the difficult job where they get.
Okay.
And honestly, me way they talk to you, I serve the force. I guess to admit the way they serve right now, way then they in high places. Some of them are LUCs them, some of them now, and they're in a very good position. And I fall victims in several ways. Sometimes I can even say shame for call them. Or say, but now so thing happen. At the stock I'm in. And so on points where if you even tell them, say, go, me self now be a service member. Talk, go up, count down. It's just the individual, not the individual. It gets in kind way they do things. You know, I make a contribution last week about the use of discretion. That's now one big thing where we need to look into another country. Because I know we'll give the specific section of the act, but a day within the criminal justice system, na salon, and I believe say section 104, subsection 3, I believe, of the Constitution, give police officer, a constable, the right for making arrest.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But how again the right for making arrest? It's very vague. You open. It open in the form of discretion. I can meet you, maybe I say disorderly standing in your own house. It's not discretion. I feel, no, it's just an example. I give. The way we sitting up in a house, you pull the clothes, waiting and call. I feel say, enough for do so. Or maybe the way we park in the house, the way they talk, right. Now, my discretion for arresting. How far that discretion for go? It left to me your interpretation. Not to you who are the arrest. So the arrest or the struggle with Lawyer Cole, now within them people and the discretion. It now come from an authority where say Lawyer Cole they under because it's enough under unago arrest. Then feel say we in a police officer say we get right for arrest and now with discretion because this man he argue we are they telling now what's not the thing. Yeah. Police officer left somebody, they actually comply, yes, sir, and all the rest of it. But when he pose an argument, he feels say there is something, they tell you, say, he feels say, sabi too much. Then he can go the next step, say, well, I'm a discretion for arresting, I'm a discretion for restricting movement. And how far that discretion go? It's so broad. You don't get limits, I will tell you. Level the lawyers and look for books there. It's so broad, brother. And if we not look at that law,
but it's the same here in England.
Eh?
Police using the discussion.
Well, now in make I tell you say, even now US I believe and are abreast with most of the criminal justice system now so more than salons are born in a very small place where are for no more than yeah. You know what you do when they enact a legislation. If anything change within the twinkle of a month or 2 months, it come up, you know, right away. And anything where they infringe to somebody in human rights, somebody spot them out. When it change and they inform you, say, this thing where you bring up, they don't make a change. But you can imagine, we get laws the way they enact 1964, 1880, we're still applicable in a salon. And they, but as I say, it depends on the policy when they put on a situational basis. When a law way for bet you applies, say, if it be 2 loans, because we get laws that we still define for be 2 loans. But it depends who done are you. When it comes, say, you know the post who will feel say you don't count with trap, there will always be a policy for me to get you for 5 months in prison.
Wow.
Not that 2 years should they look. I challenge anybody. Look the laws there. Now look the police.
So you say that loose word of use of discretion. Now one of the challenging things then and the way law enforcement or possibly where we law them therefore continue for check and see how that they affect people every day. In the case of lawyer code,
I guess the following is a rough.
Yeah, so I will say I just want to say you base them on what you say that use of discretion. Now people either they overuse or abuse or use them for trample on other people's right.
I will tell you saying they abuse them.
Okay.
Matter I give a typical example on me own side. Before I come, I've been trying to get something for sort out with me lawyer na BN the magistrate's court na Panemba Road. I go there 2 term, 3 term in Matuka Park. Now I'm one constable come. The court trial been there on, but and we don't say to them. They always deploy police officers and they. I met 2 policemen in park and say, now you get this Matuka. I say yes. This Matuka we don't say I so 3 times. Now I say, waiting that mean if you say I 3 times. Well, it's suspicious for me to say I 3 times. Now I say, then what's your suspicion? I say, well, no in a state of emergency. So right away, we say, no in a state of emergency. Now I say, thank you very much, sir, for reminding me. Because I know say they escalate to a different point. And honestly, I know say I serve at the past government and I'm politically inclined. And then they look for me service so I've been not rendered at the Sierra Leone Police Force. We not get no dirty. Tomorrow, now other thing will say, now I say, thank you for reminding me it's a state of emergency. Now I drive off. You can imagine 3 times me motoka for go to my lawyer just because now back of the court is in a state of emergency. So if I be argue, let's say the next day I know for travel. So I just say thank you so much. So situations like that, they arise so many times. But I believe that the individual police officer, there's a policy for say we police go in the street. If I go harass somebody, if I behave that way, no, I don't think so.
Okay.
Because
we will continue for advance the conversation. I can go to T-Boy now. But one thing where Mr. Ojukutu Macaulay be say where I be laugh about once waiting Mr. Cole explain and waiting Aziz as former police say don't come to light say policeman not get paddy. So now that's typical don't show. This time an ex-man, but then still instead of getting experience. I'll go to T-Boy, then we'll continue back to Mr. Kule, tell what happened at the police station proper. Then we'll come to Ojukutu. But me experience when me get it, but every day that T-Boy because me I like for argue. Every day then they arrest me na salon. But the last arrest where they arrest me na traffic police na Lumley Beach. And the guy, sometime 2 o'clock, the sun was, and this lady pulled me over. After I do all the body, you know, talk fine. Now I say, what happened? Now I say, my spirit tell me, say, I for arrest you. I said, yeah. He said, my spirit. I said, huh? You spirit? He said, yes. Now I say, for waiting. He said, in fact, 3 driver's license. Now I pull the license again. Until I get me US license. Again, I watch that. He said, what's kind of license this? I know one day see. So imagine the police, you know, one day, you know, you don't even read them or what you call her. So I ask, I delay me there. He said, well, the spirit, 9 tell me, self arrest you. Watch the motor go round. I did it. I'm stress one that something. At the end of the night, come and say, well, you know, it's him. I need for go na police station or delay you till the law well all your business. I say, I beg you not do that. Me they work on time, you know. So like when you say, you know exactly what you want. Where you say, well, if you perform, you know what you for do, then the spirit will tell you for left you. What happen after that, I know talk you know, but that's my own experience. It's been sad, but we don't get you know, fearful experience the way past that way. Possibly, you know, share. But now go to T-Boy, let's tell what happened at the chat group. Then we'll advance the conversation now to the, not to just the normal, what you call and detaining, restraining person, but the lethal one now put you down, drag you 10 meters, go lock you, and to the one for we continue for shoot and kill people. Go ahead, over to you.
Juma, good way you make your example, because me now I'm possible. You don't use 20 case now, just like we said, talk up. You they argue too much, and you argue when there's something in there. Not delay no more. And me something like you don't tire for the argue with you. Juma, let these people them alone, bro. No, I didn't ask you for me license. I don't show me license. But there are times when the interrogation, the way police they come forward with you, as all the panelists don't say, either it's deliberate or they just want for get something against you. Policeman not to party. All man know that one day for sure. Even the one say way they make party for 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. Like Ojukutu say, now back they go bed for you, say that person that they journey there. Because I don't know whether at the end duty then they execute. Sometimes, yes, it is right. You're not going to hide anybody if you say don't commit a crime. But at the same time, not make friends with somebody and then at the same time you sky back for good behavior and back and betray them to some extent. But as far as I'm concerned, if they are doing their duty and if they do well, I think they will for commend them. But so far, not so that the experience we don't get so far. On the chat line, there is so much comments being made, many statements being altered, and somebody they ask say if we even get the police representative for CAM. So I be done reply to that person. They say yes, we did request in presence, but not sure. But a few things that we are highlights and questions not come directly yet so far. Now just statement them no more than they make now the group, which is fine. One thing, the Act of 1965, why is it still effective in Sierra Leone? This is now the 2000 and something now the campaign. So, yeah. And then secondly, Mr. Giral mentioned proportionality. How do we measure that when it comes to executing force or when it comes to applying force? Yeah. And then also, Mr. Ojukutu highlights, say, they can sit down, drink with the policeman them. Is that still legal in Sierra Leone for like police officers sit down in the midst of civilians them and consume alcohol and still go execute in duty? Because we don't hear that a lot. And we want to make sure whether that is still they happen or it is permissible by the police force for like police then do that kind of thing then they. Mr. Giral also mentioned dropouts as police officers. That's not a very serious issue because first them you forget 5 GCSEs before you even apply for be member of the police force. If you get degree, then you just start for like go into senior policing, where they will take you to cadets police, or they will send you out of Sierra Leone for good study. But is it the same process now? What's in the criteria for make you able for enroll into the police force? Na beke na was, if for sabi for read and understand or evaluate or comprehend anything for make you actually be a police officer? Because 99% of the time the way police and they stop we on the road where they happen every other day with me and Juma and Freetown, most of them not really able for read, even you license. Policeman not actually stop Queen of Freetown because we license turn over. Instead of say this one way they see front you, now the other way they see and the reverse. You can't even believe say
motor station.
Yes. Exactly so. You can't even believe say policeman arrest we and you give it tickets because you're not able to read the sign, say the sign then at the opposite side. So these are very serious issues what they mentioned dropouts. Again, discretion. Mr. Aziz, that's a very serious statement. Discretion, how will they determine that? Police can say, I stop you for loitering. Then they stop we in a salon, specifically in a beach road, for what's in 11 o'clock. Okay, we go home. No curfew, but we just they go home. We don't come out work. We don't tire. Moscow full with media stuff them. Then stop. We say, oh, we arrest you. What's not arrest you for? Who's wanna come out? We just come out. We go home. We go back in the office for go drop off with stuff them. Before they marry, policeman not cocking gun. And I say, party man then gone. Then the way you cock and so you get for firearm. Then take we go inside the booth. Inside the booth, guess what's happened? Funny scenario. The policeman will book me in I get pen. So I'm like, really? Well, okay. And they can't take myself here and go and shoot myself now. Yeah, me pen. Book me in with me pen. So you end up for be fun. But these are some of the serious issues that way we take lighted, but we shouldn't. Because as a police officer, one thing where you for always get with you na pen and paper. Because when you check somebody, the book you also write down what he make you the book. But for the fact say these are likely dropouts, they not get that principal tendency for work out with pen and paper. So how do they record incidents? Then they all you now Wilberforce, then stop we and Juma again similarly for what thing? Because we park na the entrance of a hotel.
For 5 seconds for put somebody
Thank
down.
you. Just 5 seconds for drop somebody off, it becomes a whole drama.
Actually, that's waiting, not parking.
Exactly. But it's not the area where put that in the can and pack, that way to can in the can and pack. All man they come in pack. But for the fact that we can pack at that same point there, and somebody will come inside the hotel, whether security policeman they want for go bola. So straight away, we are under arrest. Why? Because we are packed at the entrance of this particular hotel. But all man they can park now, so we just drop somebody off. And the person will drop off, just they step out of the vehicle, police will move. Then they end up with police arrest, then call special constable in a Congo Cross, he get for calm, then delay with it for 3 hours, can't take statement, arrest Juma, can't go to police, we go there back again with Sidom for another few hours. Just for routine. You'll be left you license not also. That license they get for in a police station for over 3 months. No reason. But some of the issues that right now they highlight, there are plenty. We can't go systematically they name them. One question I want to ask Mr. Aziz, you don't serve now the previous governments, and you now intelligence man, and you advise in terms of security. What it make you not been take upon the tax? Say these are old systems since 1965. We still they go through them same acts there. So why you not been put some kind issue them around for say, can we review the policies that we govern police officers then right now in Sierra Leone, being that we describe for go into a different era where everything but salon don't change, the population don't change, the number of people that inside Freetown don't change, the dynamics don't change, the picking away them with the born also the same picking anymore. Everything but saloon don't change from 1965. Why you not bring anything in place for me then review that particular documents the way govern the police officers then a saloon? That's not my question we are going for put to you specifically. I'm not saying there are so many other stuff where they happen along, but I will go back to the forum and then see if I can able to read some of the statements that we will not make on the second rounds.
Okay, thank you so much. And we will post the phone number just now where people will call and ask them questions then.
Okay.
So let's go now to Mr. I don't know from, let's see here. All right, so let's go to Mr. Cole, then I'll come back to Aziz and Mr. Ojuku. No, I think I'm Mr. Ojuku too now. Mr. Ojuku too, you know, Mr. Cole's own experience is similar to you, but possibly at the advanced level.
Well,
then also you hear some of the catch-22 way Mr. Aziz explained, and you don't hear your own version as well. So what can you say? Summarize.
I am Mr. Cole, you know. Mr. Cole, at least not Greg now. We they don't beat we broke mate. I guess everything stitches na mate. And
police
top missile container. Soldier man and police. And put missile container na concrete. But one thing we need for establish is that the police, when they arrest, most of the time, as Mr. Aziz they say, apart from the discretion, you get another phase in terms of, for instance, the traffic police, the arrest. Then they set targets now morning before they left for go out on the street. Where are still practices still there, where the head of the police or the head of the traffic go tell you, say, na so you for bring. Na so you for bring. You understand? Coming to the issue of the discretion, me don't drive, I go drop my wife na law office. My wife a lawyer. Drop on a law office. I come up back George Street, turn to Bank of Sierra Leone, na Shakasiri Street, I'll go change the tire. If anybody is familiar with Mercedes-Benz spare, you know that small tiny one. Not the normal tire.
Cool.
So now the small tiny one, the new one in the boot. This police matched up. He asked me just like a similar to the license. He said, "Sky tire and they were the motuka." I said that tire is spare. Where the car with Mercedes-Benz. The tire away for it didn't have the boot. I go change her now. Short, we end up na Central Police. Because myself, I like for argue like you, Juma. When we reach the Central Police, obviously the OC or the head of the traffic recognize me straight away. So he told him how arrest me. He said, "Well, you don't use your discretion. You don't know that." He said, "Well, you go to my court." And then he went, and then they go fight for una court because we want to open a law office. Not to that Mr. Aziz talk about the discretion. But again, because of the level of education, they don't understand it here. That is something that needs to be addressed. But I don't see in go away one just now. Because again, of the level of people where they bring into the police force. With regards to the political aspect of arrest, we have, going back as far as we can remember, both APC and SFPP, politicians using the police for arrest, predominantly journalists or business transaction will not go right. So how we will address that? Again, it depends on the leadership of the country. These are not things that will just go away.
Mr. Macaulay, why do they talk about that political side? Who sign na the police law or any law na Sierra Leone we get orders from above? Who's chapter that those acts?
Orders from above? Okay, I'll give you.
It's somewhere they those times. So is that a law, or Mr. Cole sometimes be the law pathway orders from above than the Constitution or the laws of Sierra Leone?
Mr. Cole, what talk? I'm just not coaching.
Yes,
carry on, sir.
Okay. Okay. Now I'll give you a practical personal experience with orders from above.
Make it short too.
Very short. When the rebels, the left for enter Freetown.
Yeah.
Sorry. When the Ponton Canal went Freetown before, from AFRC to the people that were coming from Kakani State, Pakamba.
1998.
1998. Right. There are incidents where with the report, what were the war front. Then it go on BBC, Reuters, AFP, and others. But at that time, the BBC no more most time force. Solomon Bewa, as Attorney General, not elect the report. It gives instructions to Kande. Kande gives instructions to the junior officers. Then they can arrest. So that is orders from above.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if Mr. Kolwa.
All right. Well, hold on there.
Thank you.
So Mr. Cole, they pass on that one day. So Mr. Cole, now we come back to you're waiting Mr. Aziz in your side, where he talk about the use of discretion and police catch-22. I know he's not defending the police, but just they make a point for let we understand. Say sometimes some people are constrained or maybe not they are ill-informed on the NSF you lost them. But in your own case, if you don't restrain someone, say you don't able to get dialogue with that person there. Now that catch-22, now you escalate the situation, or or you just think say they were not happy with the camera and then become defensive, say violence take place, say then drag you go inside. Then tell me small waiting happen at the police station.
Okay. Thank you, Chuma. Before I mention the one, and there are just quite a few things have been said and very, 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 very interesting. First, from Mr. Aziz. Listen, I know they call all police dropouts. I know that's not the point, but and as you say, posting in there now from 3 tap or from 2 and this and that, but your own personal integrity, your personal discipline, yeah, not go allow you for do or engage in certain things, and we understand this. But in a situation where you give people them, I'm not calling dropouts, but they're not fit for purpose. They're not fit for make them all other people then right at the end. And you continue, you recruit them, you not train them well, and you bring them into the force. You have a problem. I also, at this stage, from when this incident happened, a lot of people end up walk up to me and they tell me certain things that will go on. I am incredulous. I'm not able to believe some things about the year. One of the things that was somebody they were over some past governments and we don't dismiss them from the force for some misconduct. They actually began and come back into the force and now they wear uniform. I don't hear this story, but police then they rape the woman they were in a beach. Because understand this, rape, not to say you do it by force. Now when you not get consent or you get a consent when not real. So when you hand up a set of women, then you call a girl, it doesn't really matter what you call them. And you get for go carry them, go back of wherever, do anything to them, and you think say that in a consent, that's not consent, that is rape. And the police command no say this they happen. Because I know of one incident where somebody tell me about, where it's a client, where they round up this woman, then think say that they all can they work on the beach. Then go behind for go do things with the woman. The man Tawai say no, nothing other ever happen. Eventually, they get for realize the mistake. Say, oh no, this woman not so regular na bicho. Then the LUC, the person in charge, in command, know of this. Now they beg for the police. Waiting at the disciplinary action without happening. You see, impunity. I'm afraid, say, at this rate, honestly, every day when you get such impunity and injustice, we create for this and I am new. Every day. Every day we create for this and in this country.
All right. Well, that's big because you highlight the Truth and Reconciliation Commission reports in the conversation here and how that relates with so many things the way they happen today. So continue, sir.
Yes, sir. So yeah, I'll go back. This is COVID time. You get state of emergency. I know, may I not comment on that one?
Yeah.
But the purpose of all of this is so that people in they congregate, correct?
Right.
So you get a group of people that we don't know themselves, maybe 15 or 16, maybe 18 people. They don't know themselves. They don't sit down together. They know they talk to themselves. They sit down an open air. Not to inside room, not to inside restaurant, not to inside one tight room, nothing. Then sit down an open air on top of a mountain. And you think, say, the best situation, the best way for handle that situation. Now forget that they all put them inside one tight talk. Now for they make you the talk over me head with mask not in your face. I don't know how that they relate to anything. What will they talk about? What will say COVID? I don't know. Somebody need to help me to understand. So now we go. This man don't tell me the lorry, the truck, the police truck, saying we'll deal with me, we'll go there, tell them, say, no, you need to touch me. So as I the condom, by that time, me 1 foot sandal, loss, close down chair, whatever. Then, as I the condom, I'm gearing up for fight because I don't tell them, say, they touch me, not for touch me. I don't give them permission for touch me. So I take the coffee and I double under me hand. That means I miss a self down. I will not lie. But I do them because they don't threaten me more violence. After they don't unlawfully arrest me, they don't restrict me movements. Now they don't unlawfully detain me, they don't bring me come. Then they threaten me more violence. So we go up there and say, well, for team up. That na Lumley Police Station now. They say, well, for team up na corner. I say, no. I say, people in there are not sabi them. I said, so I'm not going to team up with person. It's not COVID. You cannot keep bunching people together. So I team up apart. 9 the LUC of Lumley Police Station, Moitre came inside. He asked me, now what's happening now? Now what's happening now? I said, sir, I think now you for tell me what's happening now, because now you for tell me why I was arrested, and they not tell me why make they arrest me, why I was brutalized, why I am being detained. I said, because if anybody will ought for know what's in the happen now you. I said, unless you not get command and control over your men. The man admits in inside that open room, my wife now witness the people that we've been dating our witness. He said he not get command and control over your men. Wow.
So now the present LUC na Lumley.
Lumley, my joy. I said, unless you want to tell me, say you don't get command and control over you, man. You're shaking it in the negative. I am not kidding you.
Wow.
Then he turned to the police. We've been close to him. This is not the one we actually opened me with him in Domont, in Cardomont. Ask him, you not telling people like, why you being a Canada? The man said, no, sir. Tomorrow morning, this is not my joy. Tomorrow morning, make sure so you make a report, make them know it's in the So, he no say I was unlawfully arrested. If you don't know nothing else, even your man not confirm to them, say I was unlawfully arrested. Yet, the response to all of that, now for take we now into custody, go lock we, na what they call. This man said he take the cup. I said, no, you need to touch me. I said, if you touch me, you will get taken by force. Then take the other people in and say, for let them carry them go down and lock up. He said, for Lago. I said, no, sorry, I need to go. I said, this is not COVID. I said, and I know say police not make specific procedure on how for old people, then how for detained people them inside this COVID. They need to go lock me inside any tight room, we not get a window, for make I can contract COVID and die. There was a lot of back and forth, this and that. They said, for Lago. I said, no, I need to go. Eventually, my wife for 10 minutes later say that all that back and forth they actually they mobilize police there now with riot gear for can force me now. For putting me inside the police station for coming go down to the lockup. Eventually, my wife convinced me, say, you know, now for go. I said, listen, you understand, say, if I go inside that place there, I might contract COVID and I might die. I said, but if you want to make a go, I did go. Just tell me, say, for make a go. Because people in say that can get small. So I know I forbid that. He look, he watch, turn. He said, I'll go with them. Because what me not be noise, you get policemen that would already mobilize right there for doing more violence. After the news say, I was unlawfully arrested.
So, Mr. Cole, let me ask you, why up until this point you decide not to reveal your identity to them, that you're a lawyer and stuff like that? Why didn't you? I just want to know, because like you stated, you wanted to see what the ordinary person goes through, but I want to know why up until that point in life they are at risk.
The reason simple. It don't mean say Bambai before you be lawyer, before you be doctor, before you be accountant, before they know you for make you rights and safe in this country, for make you rights safe, for make you life safe. The same rights I get, everybody else get them. So what? And now some of the stupid things then they say to me the next day. One, the head of crimes, he really thinks in a smart person. They tell me, say, oh, you know, tell them, say, you're not a lawyer, otherwise this not for be not happening. I'm like, what? Are you serious? And you think that would placate me? I mean, I don't understand people. I don't understand. So when me a lawyer, not telling them for respect me, Abi? I don't understand that one they toast.
Right. The law not make them say there is different laws for people with certain position or title.
We won't get the same rights, sir.
Right, as Sierra Leone. So, okay, I just want to clarify that.
We won't get the same rights. So then take we, the cop still in Amiens, by the way. Then can we go to the lockup? The person within in charge of the lockup tell me say, them suppose, this is not your word, them suppose for take anything they will could be of potential risk of violence before they put me inside the cell. I say, so you job rights now for make you record everything where you take from me. Say yes. I say, so I need you for record everything, including the cuff within Amiens. I need you for record that. So it take me belt, it take me watch, it take me chain. He actually record the cuff within me and where them is supposed to pull. After I don't take all, this same person will tell me, say, I'm not supposed to go inside a cell with anything where pose any risk or danger. Take me now, lock me inside the cell with a bunch of people that we then don't conscientize, say, now me make them they sleep in a cell.
Yeah.
Because when are they up there, I hear you where then they tell the people them, say, all this waiting to happen because this man there. Now you don't cause all this. If not for that, I don't go to those. Yes, if I don't go to those, because if I don't threaten them, extort money from them and let them go.
Right.
So Then put me in a room. Eventually, what comes to form a dark room. The room basically, my normal steps now by 7 steps by 4 steps. My normal steps. Now, about with 14 with the inside the room, they eventually were able to count. We not get window. 7 normal steps by 4 across. You put 13 people in there. You say you arrest them under the pretext and guise of COVID state of emergency regulation, where even non-existent.
So how so waiting happen when they just let you go like that, or then charge you to court, or waiting?
No, wait. Then they come. Now, eventually, the morning they come, they say and they take statements. Actually, when the people then when I go inside the police station, like at the south side, and they make a statement and this and that, they talk about, say we break curfew. They might even know what's in the arrest we for. Because nothing not the way they arrest we for. Nothing not the way they for charge we for. But you get to realize, say, all that time, all over the next day, I get tight cuff na me hand. They try for remove them several times. They only ended up for making worse, because anytime we play with cuff too much, then they put you like cattle, it gets tighter. So at some stage, I tell them, say, let nobody not touch me again. If I'm not able for fend soft or can't cut them, then nobody not touch me again. Because they're not be able to open the cuff. Yes, they're not be able to open the cuff because I tell you, say, I double the cuff. When I double the cuff, the side the key for go, unfortunately, now locked together.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So now, so are they with that cuff in a man? They're not able to find somebody for pull a cuff in a man. Are they inside a room with people the way they don't conscientize against me? And I get the cuff from me. Even though they don't say, I'm not going to take anything good. We pose any potential risk. All right, we did that one on next day. By that 10 day, it not take about 3 hours. Me and don't begin for swell. I be actually tenki. I be wear some kind African or what they call a long sleeve. I get for pull them, make her a sling, I tie the sleeve. I make her a sling and put me on. So that you understand, too much blood no go there, begin for black and not get like a permanent damage or something like that. So I cradle me and all night. I did not sleep a wink. I paced the whole cell from that next day to that morning day. Early morning come, same LUC, more joy come inside. They meet and don't put me down at the which we will call out the pala of the lockup, not to the actual cell, and put me at the pala. You understand? It's outside them will take all you within them. Now they didn't sorry for we will see them. All right. So this man come inside, they don't change shifts. The person will be in the next, and the custody don't go. Other person don't come. This person, they check waiting day. Then find out a cough still in a man. He was very concerned. He left, he said he would tell somebody, he would tell the commanding officer, for make them can tell, say there's a medical emergency here, with them for address. I'm not supposed to forget the cough from me arm. He don't go 9 more joy come. He comes after the LUC, more joy. More joy. What did people have to do now? They say, now we meet and about, we will get a medical emergency, we will try for address and this and that. More joy in only response to all of that is, we for turn back, go inside the cell. He never once checked. He never once asked. I get a cough in me and from that time the way then cough me and up Leicester Peak up until around 1 o'clock the next day. We then finally cut and come on me hand. Now, eventually, bad situation come. Mr. Juku, when they get at the lawyer, whether they come. But actually, you get a group of lawyers that way they come. It's called the bar situation, and they showed up and they caused the ruckus in the station. By then, they don't understand what big of a fuck up they have done, and excuse my Mandarin, so sorry. They don't realize who's kind of big mess they go on, and then try for being for backpedal and actually begin for placate me for tell me say, oh, you're not being sure and say you're not a lawyer. Tell them you're not a lawyer, all of this not for me not happening. Tina with them for placate me, they actually infuriate me. So eventually then cut the cops, eventually then listen to the president of the association, and I must thank him because he may have saved my life. This is important now. Eventually, he insists that they forgive me medical checkup. He insisted on it. And so whether they give bail or whether they need to give bail, when I make say doctor check this man. So eventually then decide to then give me bail. But first I should be checked by the police doctor. So then give me paper. I drive there with one of my colleague, Mr. Jallo, and Len Gordon Harris. We drive go down King Tom to the police and doctor. And president of the association have been there, they drive me anyway. And then test me pressure. And my pressure read 220 over 168. And on one day I done it.
Wow.
One day I know I can't eat in there. 220 over 168. Wow. I'm a walking dead man. And if for me don't give me bail, I for don't go home. If not, Mr. Kowawe insists say, when I make that man take and get a medical and make a test, make them check her medically. I for don't commodity, I for don't go home, not knowing that my pressure don't go over the top.
Right.
And probably I for don't die the next day. Because I decided say I for film with police then they do their misconduct. It would have cost me my life.
Well, thank you for sharing that story.
I beg, give me 2 minutes.
Yes, go ahead.
When I left the police station, by that time I noticed me change dollars. So they want for giving the rest of my property. I said, no, I need to own that thing. I said, until now, give me my property then in full, I need to own that thing. A few days later, after that I did, by the way, I did hospital for 1 week, bed and take my phone and take all things. Well, Uda have been give the chain. I said, what kind of question then did you ask me? Hey, well, you're not a lawyer. I said, no, not tell me that. I said, because me a lawyer, if it's in thief me, I know waiting for do. Because this is not thief. Up till today, I don't see me chain, I don't see me watch, I don't see me belt. Subsequently, while I did in a police station, my wife gets called from some of them guys that wait them be arrested. And then categorically say to them, say, the police take 5 million bribe for give them bail.
Wow.
That's the 15 or something people that will be needed. Take 5 million at the hand. Then 300,000 for each person. The next day, the same person call, they tell me where say, they say they want for return the money. I say, tell them, as long as then you receive, say them you don't receive the money and give reason why make them want for return the money back. So then I return, no problems. So now, so I don't witness bribery, extortion, unlawful arrests, you name it, all kind of police misconduct. I don't see them. And it almost drove me mad.
Oh.
As a matter of fact, some police and the woman have fit on say I don't place.
Wow. Well, this is loaded, and thank you for sharing that story with our viewers. And it just we come back to the, thing we always they talk, because we quick for jumping to conclusion that the people the way police they use excessive force, say the results to people and they die. Because then I youth them, they irate, then they go cause problem, now then they cause the problem, not to the law enforcement we're supposed to protect them, law enforcement agencies them. So a typical Sierra Leonean, peaceful person, a lawyer, let's say Mr. Colbinde on the wrong. I don't think that's what the law says. Mr. Aziz, you don't hear the narrative tail side or reach. But I want to ask you, I wish we didn't get to be positive now. LUC Lumley has been implicated in this. LUC Gaima, sorry, I beg pardon.
I think somebody don't put a number for Moijoy, so I don't know if we can try and reach him, because possibly they might want us to reach him.
Okay. All right.
Can you tell me to see if we can?
Mr. Palmer, if you can try for call that number for me, LUC Moijoy, we'll appreciate that if he can join us, at least for shed light on a few things here, because his name is being called. Or if you're not able, we will try for see if that person the way put a number, go able for reach out to them and the police, because this is not the second program we don't do about the police, but we've done previous programs where every time the police has been implicated. We will let them can talk to the public. We know that they talk every day, but now we own platform. We've done, I think, out of the programs, every other program, we get for do law enforcement, the police, their name they call inside. So it's high time they come on board and can talk to we. But and I for try for post the number where people then go call, because we'll carry round up just now. But Mr. Aziz, I will come to you. At what stage can the police escalate force from one step to another? We don't talk about this. You mentioned briefly where you talk about low, medium, and high. But from what you don't see recently, law begin talk about the big one there now. The Pademba Road incident, the Tombo, the Lonsar, and most recently the McKinney incident.
Yeah, that's a good one.
We don't see, say, the first way they go, instead of beginning for talk to people, them say, "Let disperse now go now gunshots." We agree with T-boy. Simple thing, motorcar stop and all that thing, then they, why not they stop? If we not come, give me license, calm down, then cock gun for shoot. Is that how it's supposed to be? At what point wait them for escalate the use of force? In your experience,
Thank you, Mr. Juma.
Yeah.
And they also go back, and they actually represent the Sierra Leone Police in this discussion.
Correct.
Now,
Yes.
share me knowledge for make I could just throw light into certain things.
Mm-hmm.
In the area of escalating force, you get the 5 instance system. And it not mean say the 5 instances that we get the presence, verbal, tapping on the shoulder, this, they count to little. You get for go through them one, then they all. No, there are situations when they go through them. But there are situations when there's a change in situation, when your life come into threat right away. And within that process, there has to be a central command. The central command will always get a senior officer where they forgive the instruction. I don't know for today in the Sierra Leone Police Force, but as we apply Naya today, honestly, you get for communicate to somebody, say, this is a situation. They either tell you, say, retreat or find your way out. In finding your way out, you can escalate the force. Maybe you feel, say, you're engulfed in a situation. If you not do what you could do at that moment, your life there at risk. But we need to see that in the police today, because I will also come now their own side, because I don't do uniform. Maybe in two different angles. The area of the local side, Africa, and in the area of the side where I did so.
Sky Nayana B, which one? Sky waiting.
Go ahead, sir.
They go by waiting Bob Marley describes it, who feels it knows it.
Right.
Now, only way you did inside it, at that time, actually, yourself will know the stress and the problems where a police officer they face when he go out at the street. You know, then they within the process of protecting properties, saving lives, save community, try for build that rapport, at the same time safeguard themselves. But depending on the relationship, especially when they talk for Salon today, the relationship would only be between the civilian population and the police. I will tell you for sure, say, not cordial. And not cordial, and I will also tell you for sure, based on what you need to see, where I want make anybody challenge them. Say, the people have lost confidence in the police. But I will also tell you, say, it don't mean say the policeman don't want to do good job. Trust me, the policeman want to do good job. But when they under superior command, if only you know to the post way feel say I will get me daily bread tomorrow in another way, you will go by that superior command, whether I like it or not. Because now, like a presidential spokesman or maybe a police spokesman, trust me, whether you say I'm or not to always wait in believe they can't tell you now. It can always be either a guided statement or now waiting we want you for make it go say, we for go tell the public, now you for go say.
Right.
So when we send it out, we give instructions how you for operate. If I so we meet so the situation at this so we read the instruction they will give you. Do the right thing. Do what you feel safe or do for make you get situation under control.
Right.
And that situation under control also I come. Use the discretion. That discretion, if fall within the law or the individual police in your discretion and for use. I will tell you, go run after that policeman, they say, I don't even know if I ever see any legislation where tell you say you will put the police in a court and win. I think it will take you a long ride.
Well, we'll test that, sir. I intend for test down the book.
Well, I just to say, the bottleneck then they with the process the way they take, you will get frustrated way down the road. It's difficult.
Okay.
But from the stories they hold on area, we get good policeman them, we get the bad one them, and we get the command where they come from the top. But if the police officers then get security in the sense, when the police officer knows, say, when I go out, I execute my duty with me on conscience and based on policy, standing policy, I'm not getting nothing for free. And that policy is there for defend me. So God then go out and do something right. And you said, sir, if you're the police officer, you go. If the policy and the situation where you meet, give you a cause for making release a life round based on the situation, you say, now the only way that for me, while I go in a house, I will sleep. But if that situation now arrives, Now, based on somebody in command, say, waste them out. Pray them. I'm not thinking if I go in the house, I will sleep. But I follow the command they give me. And it happened today. I'm not going to lie to you.
Right. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Aziz. Well, this don't bring we come back to the same thing. We always refer to former Attorney General and Minister of Justice, lawyer Francis Magai. We will see a popular tape where they address senior police officers say there is nothing like orders from above, where they execute your duty. Make sure, say, if you do it, you get for take personal responsibility. Now you want to get for go answer your call. And it bring we to waiting lawyer Cole demonstrate as a Sierra Leonean, and not using office, you know that I'm a lawyer or brag or that. He wanted to see. So why the policeman or anybody in the execution of their duties or performance of their public service, why you no go believe, say, you na mortal man force, you na Sierra Leonean, without that uniform or that office or that title, would you like similar situation or things to be done to you? And the thing...
Yeah, I just a quick comment.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
I just make a quick comment on that. Man, I lost that side.
Yes, sir.
Where they will say there is nothing like orders from above.
Mm-hmm.
At the mark with big X.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Aziz. Yeah, go ahead. You don't mute, sir. You mistakenly mute your phone.
Hello?
They get you now, Mr. Aziz. Yeah.
Are they on the line?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I say that way they will tell you, say, nothing like orders from above. Yes, it's a public statement, but inwardly, I not believe, say, now that they operate. You know what you do?
No.
When you want to a police officer for any bad work way you do, you need to sue him directly. Now, the Inspector General of Police, now you the right.
Okay.
The Inspector General of Police, now he go look within himself on discretion and everything for making allow and for making go answer. So you tell me, if that instructions come up from her, tell me if he will push you to make it go. Unless when they come to a situation where he won't cover in next, they will throw you under the bus. But he hardly could make it see that. I mean, just one count that side.
Okay, thank you so much for that clarification. Mr. Palmer, they try forget LUC Moije for see if you're able to come on the program. So anytime if you're able to get him before we close, that would be great. But I'll go to Mr. Macaulay.
Yeah.
Mr. Macaulay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
So you don't cover every situation as alone. Meaning from the good one when are the good news, and you don't the front line when they fire bullets during war.
Yeah.
But the kind force where security forces then they apply now, so right now in enforcing the law or protecting life and property, whatever they want for column now, like with the McKinney incident, Pademba and all of that. Do you think that's, and I know say you know to lawyer, but you have a lawyer, we don't tell you one or two things. Do you think that's what it's supposed to be like? Because the way things that they happen, like now, war zone with the country.
You know, the unfortunate thing about what they happen in Sierra Leone in the last 2 years is not so much waiting the powers that be they do that bothers me. And anybody who read my writings for the last few weeks ago, no say I don't express this opinion, is the fact that we get a very large number of people who are silent in Sierra Leone. Maybe for self-preservation reasons, maybe for political reasons. And then again, a survey we will conduct right now as I'm speaking to you, a large number of Sierra Leoneans are simply saying, the only thing we will get for do election card will go vote. A lot of Sierra Leoneans suddenly don't believe, say, nothing no day where they will talk or do now, including protests. that might change the narrative in Sierra Leone. The position where the situation where they develop now, the dynamics, the local dynamics, as the South Africans would say, the local dynamics, especially in Freetown, is that let me wait, election they come. But a large chunk of Freetown, more than half of the voting population in Freetown, and I suspect that is right across the board, a lot of people has just simply don't resign to the fact that if we try to do anything, they will end up for shoot like how they shoot na Pademba Road and McKinney. But one thing they're certain of is that they're not going to shoot all manners alone when election comes. That is the dynamics that is being developed personally within the average Sierra Leonean now, including a large chunk of people and way we say APC we don't pass mark. You see, what to make some of women the vex and still the vex, say people are not they come out and protest and whatnot, is the fact that too much is happening, and during the last government, the slightest mistake or the slightest something somebody see as a not a democracy, then a lot of people now civil societies, press, even ordinary citizens in the diaspora go write and talk. Now a very small number to talk. So we were asking. So to a point that a survey is going on now right across Sierra Leone, quietly, where, as I don't tell you, is that people don't come to the conclusion that the present regime want to intimidate and frighten people to submission. But people are saying, for now, yes, they will get their way. But we wait for elections. Now we will vote for them. So there is not much you go expect from now. And it is rather unfortunate, you see, because a lot of people, Sierra Leoneans and non-Sierra Leoneans, were expecting so much from this regime. One person will go on public television 3 weeks after the elections on inside the media. It's there, it's on record. What they say, they ask me on a regular Saturday program. They say, Mr. Ojukutu Macaulay, well, we don't get a new government. What do you think? How you see the new government? This and that and blah, blah, blah. I said publicly that the campaign of the SFP government, of the SFP party, we don't bring into power. And the way would they expect the Fokan govern, then they can shame APC. They're in for a shock because we've been believing, not just people like myself, a lot of
Mr. Macaulay, hold there. I think so we don't get, I'll come back to that. I think so we don't get, is he on the phone, Femi? Hi, Mr. Moije, good evening.
Hello? Good evening.
Hello, Mr. Moije.
Yeah,
hello,
good
Mr.
evening.
Moije,
How are you?
There? We're not there yet.
Hello, good evening. How are you? Well, yeah, I got you.
Probably the network.
Yeah, so
hello, good evening. I got you. Hello, good evening. I got you.
Yeah, Mr. Moije, good evening. Mina Jumaba, with Sierra Gem Media, we did on the Big Sierra Leone debate. How are you today? Hello? Hello, Mr. Moije? Hello, are you there? If you hear me, we know they hear you right now.
Hello?
But there's, yes,
hello?
Are you
hearing me?
If you hear me, we know they hear you right now. But there's, yes.
I hear you.
Okay. Yeah, the reason why we call you.
Get you, hello?
Yeah, we get a program where they go right now, where the topic now, the use of force in law enforcement and the survivor's story. So one of we participants them was now somebody we gets an experience on the 8th of June, correct, Mr. Cole? Yeah, on the 8th of June, when our lawyer Gerald Cole where they been bring Kana you police station. He explained some things where been happen at Leicester Peak, and also the arrest time detain at station and all that thing. Then, so we wanted to see if you have anything to say on that.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
just
sir.
for remind you,
How
we
are
did
you?
live. Yeah, we did live.
Okay. Oh, well, on that date, I cannot recall as I'm free, but it was after 9 o'clock in the night. Me and the LC, the LC in a region when I left the peak. So at 9 o'clock, this man with the alleged said arrest him, do and blah blah blah. They arrest him for breaching the curfew and unlawful gathering. Because then gather there, there was no social distance observed. They didn't party. They didn't party. So then when they come in life, when they come, I did meeting. Like for me, we did meeting. So they call them up. Then Boku. So I really know I cannot do. I make man he didn't cough and cough. But they talk up. I say, Mister, how are you? I say, no, greet me. I said, why are you here? I said, let me not ask. Could you imagine a very senior officer in uniform? This man, a black camera, not even nothing I'm not for. The actor not know story become so rude. So the AIG commanding officer Canada, it's time to ask him, Miss, how are you? Let the AIG know, greet him. Why are you here? Tell them, ask him. Let them put on a cell. I said, okay, now, then they pull the cuff now and they say, no, they are confident in their hand. Press them, they press them more and more. Or they tight more and more. And the AIG say, well, let them tell them, let them make statement. When go down, everybody makes statement that night. And say, in a make statement, in a exact and for the court. And it's to retain them. They tell them going to custody. The lockup do everything, made the entry. Say, Mr. Man, that pull and cuff me. Say, no, you know they pull them. If we didn't hand, say, go out, you know they pull them. The officer they will show them why they handcuff. You know they agree. For they handcuff them. Very well. Everything much we in the indict now. Not to me, men and go arrest them. I'm only working at Lumley and region. Lumley they host the regional headquarters of Freetown West, inside the AIG day. And then bring a kind of mediation for safe custody. Now indicting me as if I was done who arrested him. But that's the job.
Okay. So, Mr. Moije. Yeah. Mr. Moije. Yes. Yeah, some of the things that we explain. So, yes. Of course, they in line with waiting lawyer Cole Steph States Naya Associate. Of course, indeed, Naya not agree for pull and cough Naya. But when you the head of the team will be go arrest, you be ask them waiting make the arrest them because Nadengo is institute the arrest and then they report directly to you or directly to the police force. Did you ask them why they arrested him or the man way the arrest you come back for ask question?
Clash with that Liverpool, which is Sheriff.
They arrest them, they talk to them by the regional headquarters inside the division day. They bring them for the attention of the AIG. When they come, me come at a meeting day. That's what ask them, give me back talk. If you say they put it on top and say no, then they put it on the hand. If we let the hand, they go to court. So me can do let them make statement. If they make statement, they let me opinion for court. Why honestly we so calm and quiet, then do everything, they go and tell. They don't tell a president call. If president hand in the pull them, a person go pull them. In the morning hours, in colleague they come, including the hours. Now in the AIG say this man no make statement and you know they get on bail. So they say in the pain, it's no well, the people fine. Police medical form, we take on an escort. We take on an escort at Tinton Police Hospital. Upon arrival, I don't know when they are. Upon arrival, the investigator, then we find out back say a pressure job. So So from that, I think that's what get made to in copying John a them with them bill them. The matter not in a long division, but within a within division. You don't get the matter, you don't get the clear.
Yeah, I don't get that. So
I only can't talk to her because I only talk to her because my division this we host division headquarters. But I made by the LUC and team now mounted. And then they let Mr.
Okay. So quickly, sir, I know say we just want to forget your version. A couple of questions. In detention, lawyer Cole tell we say in the process they not getting property there yet where they be arrested and along where them what you call them where them put on a cell they not getting property in chain, watch and other things where they be booked during the third and they go lock them up. You get anything for say for that?
Jim, the line's gone down.
Okay, so it look like we all lost lawyer LUC Moije. We will try and back in the process of the conversation if we get time, but at least we appreciate that he come on board for come give it in your version and he say yanda na the headquarters for West, not today na the mountain division regions and then get for do with that situation. Quickly before I go back to Mr. Macaulay, lawyer Cole. I know I'll let you report waiting LUC Moije say, but usa unadena with this case.
Well, I was never charged to court. I'm still waiting.
Oh, they're not charging at court?
No, I was never charged to court.
Oh.
I'm still on bail.
Okay.
I don't go to two term for booking. After that, I don't go there again. Nobody don't come to me and say, hey, you on bail. Petty usually come for kind of report, which would be normal under these circumstances. But that's the point. The police, them, like I say, they waste your time and they do it deliberately. Waste your time, they strain you, do you all kind of things because they don't say, at the end of the day, now you not go left one, but not me.
Right. So, as a lawyer, I go ask you, now that you're on bail, what is the situation? They can call that case there anytime and go charge you, go court or do it in?
Yes, it's possible, yes.
So you're not a free man, I should say?
Yes, I'm not a free man. No, I'm not.
So what are you planning to do?
Boku. I plan for do Boku.
All right. Okay. Well, I will left and now we don't continue. Tibo, you want to say anything quick before I go back to Ojukwu to let continue with CBD say about the McKinney and other major incidents?
Yeah, well, a few things I want for highlights. Somebody will ask a question, see whether your driver's license in America if you valid in a salon.
Yeah.
That's number one. And secondly, then they also ask Mr. Cole whether we will get access to the video, but I just don't highlight now the group say if they can check the page, the video still lay out now the page we then go for see exactly the entire story of the incident that happens.
Yeah, waiting at Mr. Cole page.
I name GC on Facebook, GEECEE.
Okay.
Some of the video then did some of the video they did my wife in profile. Her name is
share that with you as well. We'll share on our own page. We'll be
absolutely, we'll do that.
All right, wonderful. All right, thank you. Go ahead, T-Boy.
Okay, so those are just a few questions asked, and the group engaged in the discussion, and I'm quite happy to say them bring Mr. Moije for really calm comments on this particular issue we arise, and I feel say he really do it because this is not like an impromptu. Even though now police officer, most times they don't really call out for make effort for make them call you so, especially we now open media and we are live. It's not going to be edited for no reason because it's a live show. So basically, I give them that commendation there for making able to do that because now very few of them will able for take up that mantle for come on board. We will see whether we'll go able for get them back on a normal circumstances for make it really can represent the police because normally. Now, one strategic police station where Juma get, but who is still be along the police station? So basically, I think it would be nice for get on a one-to-one or maybe on a panel similarly to this. But Mr. Gerald, I hear you loudly, and you mentioned something earlier on the program where you say people don't look at the other issues of police brutality, whether the physical, the push, the kick, and all the other stuff there. But I can see where you're coming from, where you mentioned the mental, psychological state of how people then they feel if they go through this kind of process. And again, you were a bit emotional.
Hold on, T-Boy. Hello?
Yeah, okay.
Femi?
Hello, I see Uno call me.
Oh, okay, Mr. Mojoy, yes.
Mr. Mojoy, the LC Lumley.
Yes. Sorry, you've been cut off there. Will be the talk. So yes, we be the ask that Mr. Cole when them in. Yeah, go ahead, sir. All right. Last me question. My question was. Yeah, my question was, Mr. Cole say where them book him in, where them detain him, he been left, been at the lockup, then checking chain, watch, and other personal property. They wait 30 days from where they release him on bail. 30 days not get them property. Then do you know anything about that?
Well, I don't know about that because I'm not the custody officer. I'm the LUC. Because if ever they release him, for demand for we get now. But you know, ever demand for it, and ever not to get property and sell it because in be there by then, in family and there, you know, police sell. If I come back and say, well, I can't come and change me, choose me. Oh, yeah, if you there, but I don't ever know about that thing.
Okay. So if you can able for investigate that, for we appreciate and we want for make like camera. So Mr. Cole said 30 days they not charge him na court yet.
Oh, I know that. No, it's still on bail because of in health condition. It's still on a bail. It's still on a bail. When a person is in normal health, what is the call and back? That's still on investigation. The matter still on investigation. In fact, we didn't deal with them. The only the black kind of normally will answer the old regional headquarters outside the AIG serum.
Okay. So then I don't know if you're aware that everything will happen up now the incidents they live on Facebook on that particular occasion on the 8th of June. So according to Mr. Cole, everything was recorded live.
Well, if I just know, I was not there.
Right.
That's Lumley police station. I'm not the agent. What happened there, I'm not going to say nothing, but I cannot be there. I don't know nothing about them. So I can't say nothing about them.
Okay.
But you talk about something happening in custody, like I say, you've been there. You not get problem for comment on that, but you get problem for comment on other things. I think I've been facing the same thing go apply. Since you know that you know for talk about them.
Now what you mean now, Lumley? Now to talk about so I have been there.
You've been there inside the south side and the custody officer they will take your property them. You've been there what demand for my property they way they not give me change. But why you can say free for comment on that day?
I know about that. So I not be there.
But you comment on them.
That so I not be there. I'm not the custody officer. Yeah,
okay.
I don't know about that. And talk man, I don't know about that.
Okay, that's okay. Mr. Moije, we honestly truly appreciate that you come, you take the time and honor the call because we not notice you, but you really try and come. And we will try for engage you after the show for see who that we will talk to, whether not the LUC na region or the AIG for that region. Since names they don't call, that is why we'll appreciate so that we clear the air. We won't forget a balanced conversation. Let not like I say, just they swipe on the police then because so many things that don't happen when they mention the police then, but specifically on this one, your name was called, you stationed. So now that the AIG reside yonder, when in the cover region, would appreciate if hopefully we'll give that privilege there for talk to them where we will get other people for just discuss generally on issues of law enforcement where they happen at that region because a lot of complaints and don't come about that Leicester Peak area that then they extort money from people. These are all allegations, okay? We not get anywhere for proof and it, but we would like to talk to the police about that. So it's not your last word for we and viewers them or listeners.
Thank you very much. Honestly, I really enjoy the program and I like the program. I'm going to follow up. Mr. Code, good solution about that day. I don't know what's my problem. At least a cow grudge. If me with a lonely, I will not ever know about the arrest. Or not one day, even and me, you know, but you know, me a very senior post office. Keep me calm and keep me peace. All I will say, thank program, and this is for good, and we press on. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Moije. We don't agree, Mr. Moije seen our force for good, but a lot of people in the seen our force of oppression. So we'll leave that to the public to decide. We will engage you again, sir.
Yeah.
God bless you.
Oh, thank you very much.
You know, this guy, the man will just talk. I didn't feel sorry. You know, they hear me, eh?
Yeah, with you, go ahead.
I feel suddenly I get some sympathy for the Sierra Leone Police. Because this particular person we talk to is a personal friend, and now if I can call him public watchman, because the house will be there is less than 10 minutes from Lumley Police Station.
But you said police party no deal. Now that's
no, I use the word deliberately. I use it deliberately because from where it is Central Police, you know, which is like 2 minutes walk to my office. Then it moved to Lamina Sanko Street. Then it moved from they go Central Lumley Police Station, which is about 10 minutes to my house. He has always been a very good police officer. But you see, as I may say earlier on, this political situation we come to find ourselves, whether be it blue, green, red, or pink, it's the problem. We get a situation in Sierra Leone today that is becoming even worse, to a point that, believe me, a day or two ago, I don't know how many of you have seen that video there, I saw dozens of police officers singing President Bio's name. Shaka Stevens, at the height of his power, I challenge anybody for giving me an incident, including where in the ISU be ready for die, where they dance and sing and parade and sing Shaka Stevens' name. So I feel sorry for the police force these days because they don't find themselves in a situation where, like the McKinney incident, Mr. Aziz talked about them, where the orders they come from a situation where you basically either follow the orders or you yourself will be a victim. I watched the Tombo incident on video with when AYV did it. I saw the incident from the point where AYV got there till and finish, where you see both civilian politicians and then personal securities, you conduct the affairs of law and order on the main street openly, Natombo. We never get that picture then at McKinney, but what we got in McKinney was police firing live bullets on defenseless civilian. Let me argue, say, for a moment, see, if even the politicians there descended, no, for argument's sake, because that is the allegation, does that justify police using live bullets for shoot on harmed civilians? And yet still, we have people we call Sierra Leoneans. When they come back and tell you, say, Bonasto PCB do. So we are not moving forward at all. We get situation and now where people when they go on social media, they plead to President Bio for release the body they made and go bury them people here. Why has Sierra Leone got so low? Them people here then kill them na McKinney. McKinney get mortuary. Why was there a need for take them to Freetown? Okay, let me say government say okay, they go Freetown. Waiting at the reason now for keep them body. Is that part of maintaining law and order? Has Sierra Leone got that law? And yet still, you have Sierra Leoneans, we go come up back an old tape and tell you, say, them in kill sorry for now and the 14 others. So in other words, what you are saying is, the next time when SFP don't have power again, the next government will come, get the right for kill 10 people, then they go say, oh, SFP been killed. Is that the kind of country we want? That is the question I want to ask Sierra Leoneans, the way they justify waiting to go on now in Sierra Leone.
Okay, hold on there. That's a good question to ask. I think we'll get a call.
Hello.
Mr. Pama, do you have a call?
Hello.
Yeah, hi, caller.
Hello.
Yeah, say your name.
Yeah, this is Mr. Mojo again.
Ask the question quick. But no, wait, stay you here. All right, sir. Yes, sir, Mr. Mojo.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, well, I've listened to Mr. Ojukwu at the panel or the forum. Mr. Macaulay at the forum. You ask Mr. Macaulay who is Mr. Mojoy, he will tell you more about Mr. Mojoy. Mr. Mojoy. He has been here for a long time and knows me very well. He will tell you that I'm one of the best officers in this nation. He will tell you that now.
God help
ask Mr. Macaulay about more. He will tell about me.
Jesus Christ.
Hello.
All right. So we're happy that you say that. Also, and Mr. What you call Mr. Ojukwu Macaulay, here we say sabi you not to today. Yes. So it don't tell me how we sabi you and all that. And when we hope say that go translate to reality, and that accolade the way you say about yourself and endorsement and way Ojukwu self say, we hope that will be the experience of so many other people, because the McKinney incident not a depict that.
So I want to Mr.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
I'm not McKinney. I mean, normally I can't talk about McKinney.
Right.
So I want to make Mr. George the wrong leader, but nonetheless, he's my brother, he's my friend. That's all I can say. Oh, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Mojo. Thank you. All right. Thank you. All right. Mr. Macaulay, round up quick. Then.
So my appeal will be to all, whether it be decent Sierra Leonean or APC Sierra Leonean, SFP Sierra Leonean, let we hope, say, in the coming months and years, we go get a leadership. And when I mean leadership, I'm not just talking about the president of the Republic of Sierra Leone. I'm talking about a leadership that will find that the Sierra Leone Police, the military, and all the other institutions, them will go put Sierra Leone above everything else. That is what has been lacking for many years in Sierra Leone. Now make we day how we day so today. And this is very unfortunate that Sierra Leone today, instead of we are moving forward, we have to make references of bad things that would not happen in the past for justify bad things that way they happen now. Like at the end, somebody asked me a question the other day, say, when somebody pull clip or mention, say, bo APC una left we Shaki been killed, so and so person. It's like some people are saying, because it's like in Germany and then kill people, now say the man whether England or whatever as prime minister or whatnot, he justified for making kill people then because there was a time when Hitler been kill people then. But you see, say that kind of argument is a baseless and lazy argument. But we have Sierra Leoneans them where they justify waiting to go on at Sierra Leone today with those kind of arguments. I thank you.
Thank you for.
And I must say I appreciate when I do a fantastic job, and I hope you guys will continue.
Where we tonight.
And to Mr. Cole, Mr. Aziz says something. Honestly, it's difficult, almost impossible, even at this part of the world all day, for prosecute police. But I will wish you well if you intend for prosecute the Sierra Leone police force. That much I can say. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for that roundup, Mr. Ojukutu. I'll come to Mr. Cole. You are waiting respectfully, LUC Moijue come and say, and obviously it's safe for him, the act on his personal behalf. He's one of the fine officers, but he continued for press say he's just the LUC alumni, been doing at the incident up here and they just bring the case, they become the AIG side where they control all that area. But that brings us back to that question or that thing where Mr. Aziz been say, catch-22 for the police. Is Mr. Moijue caught up in that situation, the catch-22, either as an individual, or be just they do orders from above? You've been dating, now you get for tell we wait you witness, respectfully.
Oh yeah. I don't for them respond to LC Moijue.
Okay.
You know they understand what at the talk.
Okay.
Honestly, they understand because you're in command. You see the problem with the force. I don't think saying that they recruit them and the people the way they will the privates them and the constables and no. At the end of the day, it's a common thing. The people already give you the orders from above. Now the superior officer them. Now they're not the problem. Now they not get command and control over their men. Now they need to inculcate or inspire in them a higher standard, a higher duty. Not them, not the problem. Not to the constable, not the state. I can tell you now, say, also, I don't meet people then where they tell me, say, police then they need to get a uniform. Some of them they buy their uniform for themselves. They say the uniform the government they support and supply them. But I told them once and one time, they don't begin for red. So now then they pull their own money in their pocket and buy uniform for themselves to make their way. So how is it that you give people so much power over people and rights, then you need to give them the means by which for doing. That is a recipe for trouble. I also want for comment on what Mr. Ojuku say. In a nutshell, what me will say is, and what I don't say a few times is, Sierra Leoneans do not get a problem with injustice. No, Sierra Leoneans do not get a problem with corruption. They just get a problem with the fact that not to them they benefit from the corruption, and not to them they perpetuate the injustice. That's why you have a lot of people now where all of a sudden they take up the mantle as being the defenders of justice. They parade themselves as Daniel. Waiting be happening where other governments have been there, where injustice may happen. Go on and not me the talk. All of a sudden you're a defender of justice. No, you're not. You're a hypocrite.
Okay.
Salon man not get problem with injustice. Mm-hmm. They just get a problem, say, now then they suffer from the injustice. Now the only thing they feel them.
Right.
Because injustice, no matter who that you do unto. Which comes back to the police. The police as an institution. Come on, I never even play the politics game. You know why? Because each and every party we don't go in opposition have been victimized by the police. So you, the police, who are you as an institution? Forget about the political games. In fact, when Charles Magami they say orders from above no day, what you mean they say is you are bound by the law and no other order. Mm-hmm. If any other day we contravene the law, then not to order. You do not have a duty to obey.
Right.
So sorry, not to the people in the streets, not to the low-ranking policemen are the problem. No, no, people in like Moijue. Now they don't understand. Say when they take us into a station, if you say, "In no one for make a statement," he get the right not for doing. And I even know that. So this is the problem. Salomon, no get problem with corruption. Salomon, no get problem with injustice.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for that. And they come to Mr. Aziz. Mr. Aziz, you said Ben don't fall na that catch 22. So you don't hear all the comments, you don't hear Mr. Moijue, whilst they call. In case you want for call, we call the roundup now. The number for call now +447841423752. Whilst you remember for call, we will go to Mr. Aziz. Over to you, sir.
Well, in all this, which we are facing today, now a serious problem, especially when you look at law enforcement and the civilian population. Law enforcement and present or past government, and the way they apply law enforcement activities. A tandem, like I say, 20, 30, or maybe 35 years ago. Maybe just to the same way we joined police 30 years ago, I would say so. We can get a category when the put law enforcement officers say, hey, you are serving personnel. You are serving officers. You are not get political party. You are not support political party. Even for go vote, policeman or soldier man will try for hide to you say, I not vote. When, of course, they vote. But you know how many people that not say vote? Because we can just get one thing in common, say, we are Ajib. I don't know if you have been over, been grow up, police, a petrol station, been there when I be Ajib.
Yeah.
AGIP. Mm-hmm. So now that acronym they will be take police, that kind of any government in power, say now with the serve. We're not there for no party or witness for any government to come, we're ready for server. That's been there on until this behind term when now we see this moment we can see when the SLPP government comes, it's a unit Tolombo police. So tell me when SLPP government come out, waiting they will tell the other police them. We don't have power for police. Mm-hmm. So where are we going? How long will they find that? And man, nobody not fool you. Trust me, everybody wants to satisfy that master because you not believe in the security of his job. They always reference one thing where Colin Powell say, where Larry Kim in the interview. He say, what do you think about the decision for going to Iraq? And I say, Larry, I will have to live with it for the rest of my life. I made the case to go to Iraq, believing the evidence I was shown. Believing the evidence then, mm-hmm. and not the evidence I have now. But only if you don't want a job tomorrow, that's when you will look at the president and say, no, what you're doing is wrong, and I will not do it. Tell me, most people that will look, say, Mr. President, as I will say, this and that do I wrong. Tell me.
And most recently here, we've seen police officers in the United States telling the president of the...
The military say, we need to do this. We need to do X, Y, and then come out openly. Say, we need to take these instructions if you give them. Not to that, we therefore. But it never happen under because the police officer not feel they get security for making defy order. Not for making defy the president, so for making defy is superior in rank.
Right.
Now come at the situation of LUC Mojer. Mm-hmm. The incident or the exchange between Ian and Lawyer Cole is an unfortunate one. LUC Mojer happened to be one of my squad mates them. We joined police the same day and we come on a police training school the same day. You know, just like I say, in a police, you must get the bad one, you get the good one. Equally, the individual would I go be my best man, no go likely be your best man. Things then they happen. Maybe The Adua will tell you, say, good afternoon. I say unto the next person, he offensive to them. I serve with them up to the time where I come out salon. Now the one person that way, I not ever hesitate for calling even 2 o'clock na net. For say I did in this kind of situation. He either drive go there, or he call the officers them, or he tell them say you know officer. It's unfortunate what happened between him and Lawyer Cole. The perception, I believe, say Lawyer Cole been expect something much being the LUC, but there is demarcation of division. That area not in division, and moreover, if an LUC day na a station or na a division, then an AIG day. I think say the LUC in decisions is subjected to the AIG in decisions. I could be corrected. So if LUC merger not go to waiting Lawyer Cole been expect one maybe not to in division because he not able to make decision on that, but he will able to look into the human rights aspect of it. Yes, I believe that any policeman can look into the human rights aspect of anybody where they are a victim. But for make decision on a decision where not they under your own jurisdiction, it's off. Because at the end of the day, the file or the charge, they indicate the area or the particular of offense and the statement of offense, which my boss Nayaso, he know very well. But obviously, because the officers then just whisk come from that point, take out an anomaly, the assumption would they say, no, anomaly they deal with the issue. So obviously, by default, at least the merger irresponsible if we take action and if we're able to do away with that issue there. I believe it's unfortunate. But in all, the police need to step up as alone. I believe the waiting with police they go through today, it's nothing to write about. Nothing good to write about. I say I'm a serve. And I still maintain a good relationship with the police. I don't think say now the practice is then this way we expect from the police. Will it be because of lack of refreshers training? Could it be because of the situation where we get in our hand today? Go do what I tell you for make you do. Turn to me for the decision. I don't care what you go do, then turn to me for the decision. What happen at McKinney, I will tell you categorically, say, me, I really convict. Most of the shooting at McKinney, based on the ammunition or the bullets they were as free, police they carry their weapon the day. I don't know if they're not beginning to apply their weapon the day. Police they carry their LMG the day in an operation.
So now LMG 9 they use for people away.
The bullets where me see, where na ground, where they display, and also the wounds them, and we will examine them because are they away. But from a forensic psychology specialty point of view, that's my specialty of forensic psychology. If I look at that bullets there, and I look at the tools where they can give police for make them go out, maybe they don't start for give police any kind of weapon and they for make them go operate that way there. But seeing a military officer display that kind of weapon there, and I see that kind of bullet they lay down at ground. But no policeman who can here and can't tell you, go policeman who go to the media for tell you say, go to police fire because they not get security. Who don't have the police from here go to the media say no to we fire, na Sujaman fire or na this. They not get security, they not get mind for them. Like I say, so trust me. So I just arrest the case for now.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Thank you very much. We appreciate you now. We overrun way above. but I think say it worth it, for the interest of Sierra Leoneans. With a car roundup, before me give me rounding up statements, I'll go to T-Boy, a roundup quickly, and then Femi Palmer. Then I don't know if any of the panelists then get anything for say, then me go give me rounding up statement.
Okay, well, I'll wait first for the panelists for the running up statements if they get any. Okay.
Anything for you for add or clarify?
Yeah. Man, when person they make them factual statements we totally inaccurate and not going for column and get first lie. It's sad because if LGC Joy know anything, do not say nobody no make statements the next day. And morning and they make statements. And day, now the local are saying don't say, but feel free for make a comment on things them we know day. We shoot them, then we not shoot them, tend for keep quiet. That's rather interesting. But me I'm worried about police conduct. I'm worried about them very much. And I think something has to be done, and something has to be done very soon. You have an uneasy feeling that things are not right. And it is scary because, see, I have been in a position where I have witnessed every coup, every invasion, every intervention, every epidemic, every pandemic, everything that there is to witness in Sierra Leone. I witnessed it in here. Nobody need to tell me. And I get that uneasy feeling that things are not right. And the problem is where there's impunity, where there's injustice, you'll get this feeling because you never know the next for this and COVID will make.
Okay. Thank you so much. And I hope authorities and people very concerned, they pay attention and not misinterpret that statement. As a Sierra Leonean, we all get right for raise with caution, with concerns, because if we not raise them, we're not able to put corrective measures in place. Go ahead. Anyone, Mr. Ojukutu, you get anything for add before we go? Sorry, I know you, sir. You're muted.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Need no day for caution waiting Mr. Coley say. What Mr. Coley say he correct in the sense that again I will go back. Some people will not like it, but I will go back to the 2 years where we don't get this government. We seems to have not learned anything from the rebel war, from when Pakaba na power and AFIC put Pakaba na power. And Pakaba was reinstated when we see the execution of so many people by the Kaba government. And Pakaba reversed things and tried to make things right. There was an election and Eskomaka na power, and then things begin to take some shape. And then for somewhere along the line, things went wrong. Then we get another election, and then President Bio is now in office. We as a country no seems for understand and say we don't learn a lesson of saying that Sierra Leone will for the move forward by now. If today we get the situation where they can't tell somebody say Tolombo police, or you get somebody to tell somebody say because you na been driver to somebody where na be APC. And the person a political appointee, but you, the driver, you went through the process. You don't serve an institution for over 10 years. You were simply a driver that was sent to go and drive a director. Then when this new government came, they said, because you a driver, because you drive the director, with the demotion. And then we get a situation as Mr. Coley said now. And as Mr. Aziz said, don't talk about the police. You know that thing, I'll be one mention about the soldier man and the bullets them. Mr. Aziz is correct. If we don't learn nothing from their lessons, then And then yet still we have ordinary Sierra Leoneans when they go on Facebook and social media and justify some of the things that happen. We have a very serious problem in Sierra Leone, a very, very serious problem in Sierra Leone. And you should not caution anybody for say he or she is worried what tomorrow will bring, because we have a very serious situation in the country.
Right.
Very, very serious one.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Mr. Aziz, finally, 2 seconds.
All right. Well, I just get this for say to members of the police. You know, each and every one of now take an oath to serve the people and various governments. Them we go come and go, and most of the things the way they do, whether we do unconsciously or unconsciously, it gets a time where we sit down, get a reflection, say which I do yesterday, which I do today, even though somebody pushed me for doing all right. So always think, say, when somebody push you for do something wrong, you get something for answer. Whether I answer now, and if I bring on the spiritual side of it, you can be a pagan, yes, but if you get the religions that will believe, Christian, Muslim, there is a living God where somehow you're accountable to. Always think that. And the uniform, not to wear you. Now you wear the uniform. At the end of the day, you get to pull the uniform. The people that way you victimize, you get wife, you get picking, then they play with another people them. Always think about that. When they go for go shoot somebody, or when they go for go do bad police work, members say you picking, you wife stay out, and people they know outside and day. And tomorrow you go pull the uniform. You want to work out freely and make interact with people and freely. Always get that at the back of your mind. I wish you not the best. I hope things can go change. Will not get carried away. And members of the civilian population, you know, obviously, what you face now with hands today is unfortunate. Some of the police officers, they're not able to control them. So now, like, will they accept what you will get? We not want them, but will they accept them? Because then they look if I left this police work, what I would do? If they attack me now, what I would do? Because of that, they behave as per instruction. So let that will be done. We'll get over it, and we shall overcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Well, over to you, Mr. Siveta Duba.
I want to say thank you to the panelists. And for this now some kind emotional and strategic and so many influential statements has been made from when the program starts. As you say earlier, yes, we don't overrun. But me on few concerns and me on few words of advice. Now the fact say, Mr. Tue, you mentioned say back in the days we didn't get any government in power police force. I think that is where we possibly have got it wrong. Any government in power, they tell you say if A come, now what A say they do, when B come, now what B say they do. I think that's why we name it the Sierra Leone Police. Because if the police then they stand for serve the people of Sierra Leone, then they will not serve any party or any government in power. That also goes for the civil services in Sierra Leone. We for make sure say these are independent body where they serve the people of Sierra Leone, not government in power. They make similar kind of statements to the chiefs them last elections or 5 years ago. Say chiefs should serve government in power. So if the chief support APC, you support SLPP tomorrow, you can't blame them because you don't say them for serve the government in power. So as far as me concerned, the lesson we don't learn from this particular program today, now the fact say we forces and we civil services, they're not for serve government in power, they're for serve the people of Sierra Leone. Because now the people of Sierra Leone responsible for their day-to-day living and they pay them. They've been paid through the taxpayers' money, so they should serve Sierra Leone. If we set a precedent, say, during that process where we serve the nation, then sack we, then we have the right to claim unfair dismissal. So basically, if we begin to take up the kind of stance they are, so we serve the people that were supposed to serve, not the government of the day, I think the whole system of voting with the face salon in terms of administration could change. And like we not also forget fact, say, we can't say we need to take authorities to court. We can't say we need to take authorities responsible for certain actions they will take. It might take forever, but when the process don't start and we get the law system, then we don't highlight by the Commission of Inquiry or the Truth and Reconciliation say everybody for execute their duties then well, we might possibly start for break them taboo then they. In America, we want to make an example for, in Europe, police officers have been sentenced for crimes committed. Police officers are involved in drug trafficking, in human trafficking, in sex trafficking, and everything, corruption. They've been prosecuted in America and Europe. And some of them not on jail sentence them, we then still they will sentence them. But if it is possible in Europe, why can't it be possible in Sierra Leone or in other parts of Africa? So let me not say it's a struggle. It's going to be an impossible challenge for take authorities them to court. Let's try and do it and see how far the government of any day they suppress the civilians their way now for their own rights. So I feel to say we for learn a lot, and this particular program will make I learn a lot today. And me on way me they take home now the fact say every civil service officers na salon for serve Sierra Leoneans. That's why they call it the Sierra Leone Police, not a political police. So we know for they say we for serve the government of the day. The government of the day can be anybody. If your papa will get you old snare, and the only person you really serve, it means your papa can tell you for kill your brother, kill your sister, kill your cousin, and see the world. Because now your papa you serve. Yeah. But if you serve the interest of the house outside you day, you will tell your papa, say, no, dad, my brother and my sister, then they make immense contribution inside this house. They all need to survive and live for the rest of the world. So that will be my own summary for today's program. And they throw me out to Mr. Gerald. I know say you're very touched about this whole thing will happen to you. You're not the first, you're not the last, but we don't want it to continue and carry on and on and on and on and on. Let it be a regular story for Sierra Leoneans. If it becomes a regular, then nobody have hope. And you're not fine for like within the once a whole day we still belong, and there is no hope. When we lose hope, it means we're going down the drain. Somebody mentioned on the forum, say, the police force now Rwanda is the most civilized police force. Imagine Rwanda don't go through genocide. They've killed each other, brothers, sisters, wives, uncle, cousins, just because of tribal lines. But now, then they observe possibly the best peace so far in the world, working alongside each other. It not take them 30 years to go through that process. Salon was done more than 20 years ago, but we still they get the revisitation of the scenarios of what's in popular world. We don't want that to happen. We're not thinking about that. We're not even envisaging that. And we not even get down that road if we look to begin things and say what is about to happen. Let the mindsets be still the focus, and we still get the same mindset we'll get for make changes. It's not going to be physical, brutal, or anyhow, but let's use the mindset of the like-minded people who will be able to change that scenario there. If we not change this scenario, nobody can change it for us. If we cannot build for ourselves, nobody can help us to build. So look, we look at what we do, look at the repercussions of what we do, and look at the effects of what we do, not just for we, but for picking them and grand picking them we for come. So I will say, let's look forward to a positive change, and the force that's alone for be the Sierra Leone Police Force, not any government in power. That's what I would say.
Thank you so much, T-Boy, for that roundup day. Today, you extra close me, you know.
Besides.
Mr. Palmer, you want to come up behind the veil and can't tell we waiting you get for say you last word to Fambulem before me round up.
Hello, Juma. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so for me, I want to thank you to all we panelists. This week in particular, I have been talking to most of our panelists. Usually in a Juma can do that work day. But this week, I've literally been given the mandate for get this panel together, and I'm happy. I want to tell them plenty thank you for we didn't take their time out for engage with me during the week and for joining with today. I mean, there's another guy, I'm not going to call his name, Somebody passed me his number, and we have been engaging, and Naim provides some of Unayon contacts them with the today. So I want to say thank you for all that the support to, because we struggle to do these programs because people are scared to come and talk. For me, I believe it's a shame people in the street for can't talk. We're not asking Africa implicate on ourselves or on our colleagues them. We're asking you guys to come in and tell us from your perspective what you think they go on in our country. From your perspective, with the hope people are not go oluna because of Dande. But we all know the state of affairs in Sierra Leone. My main concern in Sierra Leone, which some of the things they addressed today, is the lack of security. I believe police supposed to provide security for we. I don't feel very secure when I'm in Freetown. I don't really lie to anybody. We've been robbed at home. Police they don't stop, we don't extract money from we by force. As T-Boy said, they don't cock gun power in a beach road. I mean, literally, I don't know what to say. But I've come, there's one incident where police came to me aid because this guy, when a traffic warden, try for seize advantage for me because I jump inside my motor car. Literally, the motor car not even move yet. He can't buckle me. He say, I know where my seatbelt. Make whole heap of commotion front model school. And I even threaten until I say, they can't drive off with, they can't go. If it's done, I mean, motor car a problem for them. But one policeman been there, we see it happy, na in calm, can tell the traffic code and say, you're totally wrong, this motor cannot move it, so you're not supposed for all this man for Dandy, and diffuse the situation. Again, somebody say earlier on, police then for able for diffuse situations the way they get out of hands. And on that occasion, the police then do very well for me. But I have been stopped on numerous occasions. Once we ship motorcar go tongue, the motorcar will come over attack the go na hose. The motorcar gets some kind of temporary number plates, not number plates, some kind of temporary pass. I don't know it's any column. Yes, but with that thing that you're not allowed for use, I think saying after 6. But if anybody know traffic na normally, it was ridiculous on that particular day. We stuck, we not move literally 10 meters for 3 hours. Opposite Lumley police station, but the policeman wait there on duty day since say me motorcar not get the right paper and arrest me driver, even though
you're not using discretion.
You're not using discretion. So there's no way I for reach home before 6 because I can't literally move. And this was like 10 past 6 now. Arrest me. Well, he arrest me driver. The good thing we pull me come day. We've been to do some work for this Salon police force. T-Boy been literally don't film documentaries then with the Salon police force been need for some program, and all that footage they been in on my laptop, we were editing it at the time. So what else you done at the police now, where then they make all kind confusion with me driver and me the driver for settle the thing. Somebody called me that corner say, now for low put small thing, this case go down. I refuse. They can Mr. Cole and not identify myself, say I am a media practitioner. But eventually, when the thing don't go far, I just go pull my laptop. I can't sit downside the boss in office day now. I just begin play the file then. The policeman they all begin gather them. Begin ask, say, who damn me be? All of a sudden, case against me driver don't drop. This same Lumley police station, who would they talk about so? So there's a lot of things them way I think the police can do better, and they know they do. As I say, safety for me now number one priority. Especially I remember in the 80s, we'll be working at a beach, we'll be go play now some place where in San Souci. I don't know if some of you remember at the top of beach, they go play games and they frequented the beach all the time, and I don't get no fear for me safety or me life. But right now, I don't turn big man. I the fear for me safety where I in a beach because all kinds of things they happen. And although they get police posts them everywhere, it doesn't feel secure at all. So I don't know what thing police and they do, but the security. But again, I'm glad for Mr. Aziz when a former policeman there, so we tweet today. I'm glad for Mr. Mojoy. Literally, I called him. He finally answered. Even when the phone dropped, he called back. So hats off to him for can't take this pressure, because I be actually feel to say we forget a lot more hassle from the public against the police that we get. But he did well. He came, he stood his ground, he spoke well. he and Mr. Gerard Cole not go agree on everything because they're on two opposite ends. We understand that, but for say he gets the ability or the mind for can sit down and for make we quiz him, I think say hats off to him. We've been get another senior police where we've been on talk to for Canada program. Don't give all assurance up to yesterday, up to today, but then they didn't show up. For me, that's disappointing. Again, I don't understand why. I hope say then they listen and in the future then go calm and can make them points. We know they ask them for can't talk anything within a court where they're not going to stand by, but it go fine for make them can tell the people them of Sierra Leone waiting then they do for assure say they're safe to walk the streets of Sierra Leone. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you so much, Mr. Palmer. You know, at least today I'm glad you don't talk for all the other 10 the way no bland talk. Thank you. I appreciate you. And I will join you and for say thank you very much to the panelists. Them I think they do justice to this complex topic. And because you know gets not to one size fits all. The problem then boku when it comes to police and the use of force in law enforcement. And let's make we bring can survival story. Law not just the talking abstract. These are people them where they in position of good standing in Sierra Leone, well-respected Sierra Leoneans them. Now then come sit down and explain what's now their own personal, unfortunate experiences with law enforcement in the country. The reason why I emphasize that because of some of the people we still continue for demonize the victims or the survivors of police brutality, where they say, oh, then kill them because now youth. Or then kill them because now prisoner. Who's how we sold on go as people?
Yeah.
What is that thing called empathy, compassion? Why you no go put yourself in other person in shoes? Why you no go imagine, say you're not supposed for be lawyer Cole for let them set you free or not touch you, or journalist or former police officer? Why can't you just be an ordinary Sierra Leonean where somebody want to take advantage of you, you foresight for go to the police and go tell them, say, I can't cry to una somebody want to take advantage of me, una do it, una investigate. Why should it be that Uda you sabi, Uda you connect, Uda maybe? I get a friend way, and this, let me tell you, sometimes people suffer this, not so even by the party color where you wear it. Because now a lawyer called Shoso as a lawyer, but somebody they will me know when I say somebody in a SLPP person, I don't with they on the phone with maybe 3 or 5 times where police then they arrest them at it for stupid things just because they fail for use their discretion or not they even look. It's like then they set people them up. So pass at the end of the day, that person, where that person finally they know that he been and they begin now. Sorry, we beg, will not be no saying at you. Why should it be like that? They gave you a job to protect every Sierra Leonean and every property in that country, not for the one the way you sabi or way connected. So with people the way they enable the bad things where they happen, tell policeman and say, or soldier man and get right to go kill people there. Unless we left this thing, it could be your family member tomorrow for God's sake. Mr. Cole was innocent in 2 members of his family, then go sit down for go do it. So if he was supporting bad things and that kind of thing they happen to her, who that he go call? So it could be you tomorrow. You cannot be spared. No wait till it happen to you. And do ya with a big government. Then people them where they don't kill. Una give them family and them dead body, they let them go bury them. For simple thing, we are human beings, they will get for respect the dead. Nobody not let for losing family member. If situation where very unfortunate don't happen, people and all lost their life, the least we can do now for give them family, then they let them get a closure. Una not deprive them of that dead body. They want go play politics with and say una they send entourage. Una can send later if una want for go tell Osh for burying. But una give the people 18 days don't pass go, where them people and they die or where them kill them. Then una still arrest over 50 something una put in jail. The one that in a prison where they been killed. Say today we don't know what happen. Able, una let we continue for be Sierra Leoneans. Remember, say, you the policeman, we dey talk for una self. Because that talk when they call you Tolombo Police or Paupa Police, una self they suffer the same thing, bringing me back to waiting lawyer Cole say and waiting Mr. Macaulay say. The thing where can we go to this war, we see what happened 1999 when RAF come into Freetown. The people that we suffer most, now people that we serve, now the police force, we know say Kisi police barracks. They went there, then burn people, and then kill them. Nobody not get my wear uniform. Some of it has to do with some of these things that are happening today. Some are not able for talk. We saw what happened after the elections. These elections will pass. We see what happened at Kenema, where then they run after they hit police there with things them for kill them, call them Tolombo Police. Now other civilians then they can't say no, I left there also. So people in uniform, please lead by example. We know they demonize una. We want follow we live like one family. That's what Sierra Leone should be about. Well, till we continue next week, I will say thank you very much to our listeners then. And let we pray for a better Sierra Leone and let we continue for project a positive Sierra Leone. Till then, Mina Jumaba, I say tata on behalf of the team, and Sierra Gem Media and we panelists then today. Salute.
Yes, this na term for all Salon people and then party them. Sierra Leone Media will be bringing you a variety of programs ranging from documentaries to discussions, interviews, news, views, sports, and entertainment. Our programs will contain matters on development, governance, the economy, and issues that are of importance to Sierra Leone. So, no left BNO because we get Bebe program then like Salon discussion, meets the ministers, the President's Hour and the Gladi program, Look Me, I Look You. All this they start soon na www.sarahgemmedia.org. Now who's term these?
I was raped multiple times by my aunt's boyfriend when I was 6.
I was repeatedly raped at the age of 8 by a close family member.
I was raped at 19. I didn't speak openly about it because I was ashamed and afraid that people would judge me.
I was raped at age 5 by my caregiver's husband.
On June 17th, 2020, 5-year-old Khadija Sakho, a beautiful little girl from Freetown, Sierra Leone, was repeatedly raped and strangled to death, allegedly by her own cousin. Her death shocked the nation. But in truth, in this small West African country, 9 out of 10 girls experience some form of sexual violence in their lifetime. Think about that for a second. 9 out of 10. That's 90%. My name is Aisha Sasay. I'm a journalist and activist. I'm joining forces with Idris Elba and other activists from across Sierra Leone to support the survivors of sexual violence with the Survivors Solidarity Fund. Please consider donating whatever you can afford. All monies raised will go to 4 local organizations currently providing free medical and legal services to survivors. 5-year-old Khadija lost her life to sexual violence. That same threat remains for millions of others. So this is also a call for you to use your voice, your power, to draw attention to an enduring culture of rape. Together, we must end it now. My name is Aisha Sasay. I am Khadija Sako.
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 We are Khadija Sako.
We are all Khadija Sako.
The Sierra Leone entertainment industry UK and I appeal in response to COVID-19. Coronavirus is here.
I just want to tell you this short story here about coronavirus waiting, especially meaning this na the entertainment industry.
COVID-19 don't put the world into a standstill. We don't say no party they go on, no shows.
And as a community, we don't come together anymore like we used to, especially during the weekends.
I know it's hard. Honestly, I know it is hard.
Stay home, stay safe, please. We know exactly it is causing so much psychological problem and financial problem.
It is a harsh reality for all small business owners across the world.
The coronavirus that affects me big time in the community because I didn't even get chance for come on and go for good my business. Women a businessman.
I'm a hairdresser and I have a lot of clients, and also I work with a team of other hairdressers.
Actually, as pandemic affect my business greatly.
Well, I'm in a beauty business. Everybody just stays indoors and would not want to have a makeup, especially those who just do makeup when they want to go out.
Just do things that you've always wanted to do. Learn a new skill, read a new book, watch a series on Netflix.
Yo, my people, wherever you are, whatever you do, remember, Corona is real.
The last few weeks had been very anxious and stressful for everyone.
Like everyone, I felt the wide-ranging impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, challenging our extended family unit.
It has not been the same working from home.
You should only go outside if you need to get essential items or if you're a key worker, like my mum who works at the NHS. Yeah, my people them. Make we follow the rules them at this very time.
Coronavirus is real.
We don't say it's not easy, it's difficult, especially when we get family for feed.
Because the longer this goes on, the longer we won't be able to return to our normal lives. And the only way we can is if we follow the guidelines.
Let's come together and save lives.
Just because being a musician, I tour and I perform and all my shows have been cancelled due to the situation. So that said, everything about coronavirus has not been all negative. For example, staying at home has enabled me to spend more time with my children. The positives are though, you can spend more time with your family members, you can appreciate the importance of humanity, you can see people being generous and kind and supportive.
We pray that these dark days will soon be over, and as a community we can bounce back stronger and better.
I mean, all the activities that we normally do on a daily basis, it's not happening at the moment.
We don't shake hands like we used to. We don't hug like we used to. And as a matter of fact, the outbreak of this pandemic has instituted the practice of physical distance.
By doing so, we are stopping this virus being spreading. Then we can get to our normal daily life.
One thing I believe for sure, we're going to come out of this very strong, you know.
Yeah, anybody who gets Obama, Naya, until with an old age, will get any underlying illness, please will always contact and check them.
But this don't left them very, very sad. This don't left them for feel so isolated. This don't left them for feel confused.
Coronavirus or COVID-19 has affected my community in so many ways that we have never seen before.
Due to this virus, we've suffered mentally, physically, and emotionally.
Coronavirus is causing loss of mental health for people in my area.
My community, I don't even see my neighbors now. We're all indoors.
For all this time so far, the mood has been extremely somber, especially considering how unpredictable the whole situation is.
We are in the house and doing online studies, which is not easy, and it is sad.
My dad is a bus driver and he works because he's a key worker. People who are not key workers, please stay at home to prevent the spread of coronavirus.
At the moment, I'm now doing online studies because coronavirus has affected my studies at school.
I'm begging you as your sister and your daughter, please stay safe.
COVID-19 pandemic has affected us all, professionally, socially and personally, with some drastic changes made to our daily lives.
I would like you to follow the instruction government are saying to you.
Romans 13:1 and 2, it says every person must submit to and support the authorities over him.
May the Lord bless us and keep us. May the Lord cause his face to shine upon us and give us peace.
This is the time that we need to come back together. This is the time we need to reconcile. This is the time we need to begin to love each other. This is the time we need to let go of those things.
And what we know is that at this time, we all need God's protection.
Remember, we are all in this together. Coronavirus is real.
So please stay at home.
Because we want you for day alive. We want you for Dewey Salon Suite. We want you for Enjoy Salon.
As we talk about burning issues ranging from politics to the economy, culture to sport, education to entertainment, corruption to the environment, we realize the Sierra Leone story is far from finished. So, Sierra Leone Media Production brings you Zoom In. Zooming In is the program that engages everyday people, entrepreneurs, inventors, entertainers, activists, policymakers and politicians to discuss and debate issues relating to Sierra Leone. Zooming In digs deep into the issues and stories. Zooming In ensures the debate is pushed to another level. Zooming In asks those questions that has never been asked before. So, join us, host Chumaba.
For all Salon people and then party them. Sierra Leone Media will be bringing you a variety of programs ranging from documentaries to discussions, interviews, news, views, sports and entertainment. Our programs will contain matters on development, governance, the economy, and issues that are of importance to Sierra Leone. So, no left BNO because we get Beberebe program then like salon discussion, meets the ministers, the president's hour and the Gladi program. Look me, I look you. All this they start soon na www.sarahjemmedia.org. Now who's term these?